Magic School Bus. Chapter 1. I bounce on the balls of my feet, feeling the rush of anticipation tingling from my toes to the unruly curls of my fiery red hair. My eyes scan the sea of young, eager faces before me, each a bright canvas yearning to be splashed with the vibrant colors of knowledge. I can almost hear their minds humming like little beehives, ready for the Euro trademark's adventure. Good morning, class. My voice rings out clear and buoyant, echoing off the walls adorned with posters of galaxies and ecosystems. I'm Ms. Frizzle, your guide to the wonders of science. A collective hush blankets the room as they lean in, curiosity painting their expressions with wide strokes. I tap into that energy, channeling it through every fiber of my being. Science, I continue, my hands gesticulating as if I, a Euro trademark, am conducting an invisible orchestra, is not just facts and figures. Oh no, it's a wild ride through the universe. A dance with the elements. A handshake with history and a gaze into the future. The children giggle at my antics, but their eyes remain fixed, locked onto the unfolding spectacle of enthusiasm standing before them. I twirl, my dress-euro adorned with images of atoms and planets-euro swirling around me, a visual echo of the excitement I feel. Each experiment is an epic tale, I say, lowering my voice for dramatic effect. Every hypothesis a mystery to unravel. And you, my dear students, are the heroes of these stories. Their smiles widen, a Euro trademark VE cast the spell of intrigue and it's holding strong. They sit up straighter, shoulders squared, as if ready for command. And oh, what commands will follow, what paths we will tread together. Are you ready to explore, to question, to discover? I ask, my words lifting their spirits like a gust beneath wings. Yes, Ms. Frizzle, they chorus, their voices harmonizing with the pulse of our shared passion for discovery. Marvelous! I exclaim, clapping my hands together. Then let's begin this magnificent journey into science. Be prepared to be amazed, because in this classroom, the impossible becomes possible. Their applause is thunderous, a symphony of excitement, and my heart sings along. We're on the cusp of something extraordinary, and I can't wait to lead them there. Fasten your seat belts, class. I call out, flipping the switch on the wall. With a hum that vibrates through the floorboards, the classroom transforms before our very eyes. Panels slide away to reveal a gleaming expanse of metal and glass. The magic school bus sits in its full glory, pulsing with energy as if alive. Whoa, breathes a chorus of awe from behind me. Their faces are illuminated by the soft glow of the bus's interior lights, eyes wide, mouths agape. The bus is more than a vehicle, it's a vessel of dreams, each vibrant color, each flashing light promising adventures unknown. Isn't she a beauty? I say, watching their expressions mirror the thrill inside my chest. I step aside, gesturing grandly towards the open door. This, my intrepid explorers, will be our chariot across the cosmos of knowledge. One by one, they approach the threshold, tentative at first but growing bolder with each step. The first student places a hand on the sleek side of the bus, and her fingers seem to tingle with the magic of it all. She looks back at me, her grin saying what words cannot. Come on, it won't bite, I chuckle, nudging them gently forward. The hesitant shuffle becomes a stampede of enthusiasm as they pile into the bus, each claiming a seat as their command center for the journey ahead. Ms. Frizzle, this is so cool, a voice exclaims from the back, muffled slightly by the cushioned headrest. Coolest thing ever, another agrees, his hand running along the dashboard, eyes following the scrolling displays of data and diagrams. Thank you, I say, making my way down the aisle to the driver, a Euro trademark seat. But the best is yet to come. Where are we going first, Ms. Frizzle? Someone asks, the question sparking murmurs of speculation around the bus. Patience, my dear, I reply, winking. The destination is a surprise. But trust me, it's out of this world. Excitement crackles in the air, charged particles ready to collide and unleash the boundless energy of discovery. They're strapped in, notebooks clutched tightly, pencils poised like rockets on launch pads. Is everyone ready? I ask, glancing over my shoulder. A resounding yes fills the space, eager and unified. Then let's take chances, make mistakes, and get messy, I proclaim, pressing the ignition button. The engine roars to life, a symphony of potential and power. The magic school bus lurches forward, our collective hearts beating in time with its rhythm, as we embark on the first field trip in a series bound only by the limits of our imagination. The magic school bus hums beneath us, a living thing eager to leap into the unknown. I stand at the front, my heart thrumming with the same excitement that dances in my students' eyes. Class, I begin, my voice rising above the gentle thrum of the engine, we're about to embark on an unprecedented adventure. My fingers tap against the screen embedded in the dashboard, bringing up images that flicker like fireflies, planets, ecosystems, and the building blocks of life itself. This year's science fair project isn't just about what we can create in the classroom. I gesture toward the windshield, where stars seem to beckon us from beyond. It's about exploration, discovery. The screen shifts, displaying charts and grids, gathering data from the furthest reaches of space, the depths of the ocean, and the core of our very planet. A chorus of oohs and ahs ripples through the bus. Notebooks flip open, pencils scratching across paper as ideas begin to take shape. Will we really go into space, Ms. Frizzle? A curious voice asks, his question floating in the air like a bubble ready to burst with possibilities. Absolutely, I say, my smile as wide as the cosmos. And that's just the beginning. We'll dive into the heart of a volcano, shrink down to converse with atoms, and who knows, we might even witness the birth of a star. Their faces are alight with wonder, and I know they see it too. Not just the vastness of space, but the vastness of their own potential. They lean forward, minds racing faster than the speed of light, imaginations expanding and reshaping their view of the world and beyond. Think of the questions you've always wanted answers to, I encourage, my hands weaving through the air as if pulling the threads of curiosity tighter around us. We have the universe as our playground, and no query is too big or too small. Can we discover new species? Another pipes up, her eyes gleaming with the thrill of the unknown. Discover, catalog, and maybe even name them, I confirm with a wink. The energy is palpable, a current that connects each young scientist in this vessel of discovery. They chatter amongst themselves, theories and hypotheses bubbling up like a chemical reaction that cannot be contained. Prepare for the adventure of a lifetime, I declare, the bus already shifting, responding to our collective desire for knowledge. Because, class, in science I press a button, and the stars outside our windows seem to stretch, beckoning us onward. The sky is never the limit. Let your imaginations soar, class, I exclaim, my voice a vibrant note in the symphony of their anticipation. We're not just dipping our toes into the river of knowledge, we are diving headfirst into its depths. They shuffle closer to the edge of their seats, eyes wide with the promise of untold mysteries. A boy in the front row bounces on the balls of his feet, unable to contain his energy. A girl beside him scribbles furiously in her notebook, as if afraid the next big idea might escape her. Think outside the textbook, I say, tapping my temple. Here I gesture around us. In the magic school bus, we forge our own path through the wilderness of wonder. Their nods ripple through the room like a wave, each head bobbing in agreement and determination. The air crackles with their collective zeal, and I can almost see the sparks of their burgeoning ideas ignite. Ms. Frizzle, a voice calls out, hesitant yet hopeful. Will we be doing things no one else has done before? Absolutely, I reply, my heart swelling with pride. You'll be pioneers on the frontier of discovery. And remember I pause for effect, meeting each gaze. Every great scientist started out as a student, just like you, asking questions and seeking answers. A collective gasp fills the bus as the reality of their undertaking sinks in. They exchange looks of awe, their young faces lit by the glow of adventure that lies ahead. The room is electric, charged with the power of potential and the thrill of the unknown. Are we ready to push the boundaries? I ask, already knowing the answer. Yes, they shout in unison, their chorus vibrating against the walls of the bus, strong and clear. Then buckle up, I say with a grin. Because our journey into the extraordinary begins now. I stride toward the gleaming dashboard of the magic school bus, my fingers dancing over the controls with practiced ease. This, I announce, turning to face the sea of expectant young faces, is where our true education begins. Not just from books and lectures, but from the universe itself. A murmur ripples through the class as eyes widen and imaginations soar. I can almost hear their thoughts tumbling over each other, racing to explore the possibilities that stretch out before us like the vast expanse of space. Every proton, neutron, and electron in this bus is buzzing with anticipation, I declare, tapping the dashboard for emphasis. The bus hums in agreement, its engines purring like a giant cat ready to leap into unknown realms. And so should you be. We'll dive into the heart of a supernova, wrangle with the forces of gravity on distant planets, and maybe even discover new forms of life. Will we get to see a black hole? Asks one eager student, his voice trembling with the thrill of potential danger and discovery. Even better, I reply with a wink, we'll study them safely from the cusp of their event horizons, where time itself bends to the will of mass and energy. The room buzzes louder now, a hive of buzzing bees ready to swarm out and collect the nectar of knowledge. They shuffle in their seats, notebooks clutched tightly, pencils poised like antennas tuned to the frequency of adventure. Think of it? I urge them, spreading my arms wide as if to encompass all of creation. You'll be collecting data that scientists would give their eye teeth for. Your projects won't just be displays on a table, they'll be living proof of your journey into the heart of science. Ms. Frizzle, pipes up a girl with glasses perched precariously on the bridge of her nose, can we chart new stars or find a comet? Of course. I exclaim. We'll map the heavens, and who knows? Maybe even name a celestial body after our class. Excited whispers echo around me, and I watch as they lean in toward each other, forming clusters of conspiratorial creativity. Sketches of rockets and nebulae begin to take shape on blank pages, equations and hypotheses scrawled beside them with feverish intensity. Remember, I call out over the din of their enthusiasm, the cosmos is the limit, and even that's only a suggestion. Their laughter rings out, clear and joyous, as together we stand on the precipice of the greatest educational adventure of their young lives. I sweep my gaze across the sea of eager faces, their young eyes reflecting the kaleidoscope of possibilities that our journey promises. All right, my intrepid explorers, I announce, letting each word dance with the excitement that's bubbling inside me. It's time to strap in and prepare yourselves for the adventure of a lifetime. The classroom hums with electric anticipation. I point towards the grand silhouette of the magic school bus parked just outside the window, its outline shimmering with the promise of unknown frontiers. That bus will be our vessel, our chariot into realms of discovery, I tell them, my voice lifting with a thrill. We'll dive into the depths of oceans, soar through the vastness of space, and maybe even walk among dinosaurs. Really, Ms. Frizzle? Dinosaurs? A boy at the front, his hair a tousled mop of curiosity, practically vibrates in his seat. Absolutely, I reply, winking conspiratorially. With science as our guide, we'll bring the past to life and the future within our grasp. The room erupts into a cacophony of cheers and clapping hands as dreams begin to weave into the fabric of reality. They're on their feet now, some hopping from the sheer thrill, others exchanging high fives, while a few simply stand awestruck by the unfolding promise of adventure. Remember, I continue over their joyous uproar, my hands conducting their excitement like a symphony, to keep your minds as open as your eyes. We won't just learn about science, we will live it. Their chatter crescendos into a vibrant symphony, a mixture of awe and animated speculation. I can almost see the gears turning in their heads, the cogs of creativity meshing together to form ideas that are as wild as they are wonderful. Okay, everyone, grab your notebooks and your sense of wonder, I say, clapping my hands together with finality. Next stop, everywhere. Let's make this science fair project one for the history books. And with that declaration hanging in the air like a banner of boldness, they scramble to gather their belongings, laughter and excited conversations filling the room. The energy is palpable, a living thing that embraces us all in the shared thrill of anticipation. Ms. Frizzle, we're really doing this, aren't we? A small voice tinged with disbelief rises above the rest. More than you can imagine, I assure her with a nod and a smile that mirrors her own burgeoning confidence. Now, let's go get our hands dirty with the stuff of stars and the elements of existence. The students' voices blend into a chorus of exhilaration, their words a jumble of theories and hypotheses, of plans and predictions. As we move towards the door, the threshold between the known and the yet to be discovered, it's clear we're all ready to embark on this extraordinary journey. Adventure awaits, I murmur to myself, but loud enough for them to catch. And with a heart full of pride and a bus full of students, we step out into the world, hungry for the knowledge it's waiting to reveal. Chapter 2. Class, gather round. Ms. Frizzle's voice rings out like a bell, and the very air in the room seems to buzz with her excitement. Her eyes, two twinkling stars, lock onto each of us one by one, as if inviting us personally into a grand secret. I shuffle closer, my sneakers squeaking softly against the tiled floor, drawn in by the magnetic pull of her enthusiasm. "What's it gonna be this time?" whispers Carlos beside me, his words a mixture of curiosity and thrill. I can only shrug, my own heart racing with the possibilities that dance behind Miss Frizzle's gleeful gaze. "Today," she begins, her hands gesturing wildly as if she's about to unveil an invisible curtain, "we embark on an adventure unlike any other. One that will expand our minds and challenge our imaginations. Outer space." Keisha breathes out, barely audible over the collective intake of anticipation that sweeps through the crowd of students. "Under the sea," Ralphie adds, his voice laced with hope, echoing the shared sense of wonder. "Or maybe the center of the earth," I venture, my own mind racing with images of molten lava and crystal caverns. The corners of Miss Frizzle's mouth twitch upward, her smile a crescent moon that promises endless discovery. "Oh, it's somewhere you've never even dreamed of," she teases, her speech dancing with puns that make us all groan and giggle at the same time. "Somewhere microscopic? Or, gigantic?" Josie tilts her head, trying to decipher the clues hidden within Miss Frizzle's sparkling eyes. "Patience, my young scientists," Miss Frizzle chides gently, her voice a symphony of pure glee. "All will be revealed in due time. For now, just imagine the impossible." And with that, she spins on her heel, her wild curls bouncing with life, beckoning us to follow her lead. We exchange excited glances, nodding and murmuring amongst ourselves, our minds alight with the infinite unknowns that await us. Whatever the destination, one thing is clear, with Ms. Frizzle at the helm, we're in for the ride of our lives. We spill out of the classroom, a cascade of sneakers and backpacks, following the trail left by Ms. Frizzle Euro trademark's effervescent laughter. The sun greets us with open arms, showering its golden rays upon the schoolyard where the familiar yellow bus sits patiently. "Here she is," Ms. Frizzle announces, gesturing grandly towards the vehicle as if presenting a treasure long lost and now found. "The magic school bus." A murmur ripples through the group, a mix of confusion and awe. I squint against the sunlight, taking in the sight of the bus Euro. Its glossy paint seems to shimmer subtly, as if winking at us with secrets yet to be uncovered. "Looks normal to me," Arnold mutters, skepticism wrinkling his brow. But there's an edge of hope in his voice, a tiny seed of belief that maybe, just maybe, it's more than it appears. Ah, but appearances can be deceiving, Arnold. Ms. Frizzle strides over to the bus, her fingers tracing the contours of the painted numbers on its side. Her dress today is a masterpiece of swirling galaxies and comets that seem to orbit around her with each step. Remember, class, she says, turning to face us with a twinkle in her eye, this bus is your passport to adventure, your vessel through the unknown. Magical, whispers Wanda, her tone a concoction of skepticism and intrigue. Undoubtedly, confirms Ms. Frizzle, her voice ringing with conviction. With this bus, we will transcend the ordinary, catapult beyond the boundaries of your wildest dreams. Tim's hand shoots up, brushed by the breeze, eager for answers. But how does it, work? Science, my dear Tim. And a sprinkle of imagination, Ms. Frizzle responds, her hands theatrically sweeping through the air as if scattering invisible fairy dust. Now, are you ready to embark on an extraordinary field trip? Extraordinary is my middle name, Carlos quips, earning chuckles from some of us and eye rolls from others. Then all aboard the magic school bus. Ms. Frizzle declares, flinging the doors open with flourish. We approach the steps tentatively at first, then with quickening pulses, drawn by the allure of what lies within a euro and beyond. The engine hums a low, promising murmur as Ms. Frizzle hops onto the bottom step, her wild curls bouncing with each movement. She clasps her hands together, vibrant dress reflecting the sunlight in a dance of starlight and shadows across her eager face. Class, this wondrous bus is not just a vehicle, she begins, her voice a cascade of excitement that washes over us in warm waves. It's a chameleon of technology, capable of shrinking to sizes so minuscule, we could explore the very fabric of a leaf. A collective gasp ripples through my classmates. I squint against the sun, trying to picture us, tiny enough to weave between cells and atoms. Or, Ms. Frizzle continues, eyes gleaming brighter than the most distant stars on her dress, we could soar among those stars themselves, navigating the great celestial map beyond our atmosphere. I feel a grin spreading across my face, infectious and unstoppable. Ralphie leans in, his whisper barely audible over the thrumming of our own heartbeats. Can you imagine floating in space? Zero gravity, Keisha adds, her voice tinged with awe, seeing Earth from up high. Our imaginations ignite, fueling a wildfire of whispered wonders. The possibilities stretch endless before us, a universe of learning just waiting to be discovered. Each glance exchanged with my peers crackles with the energy of shared anticipation. We are astronauts, explorers, scientists all rolled into one eager, pulsing crowd on the cusp of discovery. Prepare for a journey that defies size and space, Ms. Frizzle says, raising her arms as if to embrace the cosmos itself. We're ready, more than ready we're starved for the knowledge and adventure that beckons us forward, sits tantalizingly within reach. With each word Ms. Frizzle speaks, a new door to an uncharted world swings wide open, inviting us to step through. With a flourish, Ms. Frizzle's arm swoops towards the bus, and the doors swing open. The interior bursts into view, a kaleidoscope of colors that dazzles our eyes. Eat a Euro trademark like stepping into a living science fair, planets dangle from the ceiling, DNA helixes twist along the walls, and constellations sparkle beneath our feet. Welcome aboard, she beams, gesturing grandly to the seats that seem more like thrones of exploration than mere cushions. Each one is an invitation to adventure, upholstered in fabric patterned with equations and diagrams that dance across the textile cosmos. Whoa, Arnold murmurs beside me, his voice tinged with reverence as we step inside. The bus hums around us, alive with anticipation. We file down the aisle, the air thick with the scent of vinyl and mystery. Tim treads lightly, fingers trailing over the back of each seat, touching the stitched images of comets and galaxies. Look at this! Carlos exclaims, pointing to a monitor embedded in the headrest before him, displaying a rotating solar system. He sinks into the seat, fingers already dancing across the screen, eager to explore its functions. "Isn't it stellar?" Ms. Frizzle's voice rings out, her pun eliciting groans and giggles in equal measure. I slide into my own seat, the cushion embracing me like a cloud engineered for comfort. The faint thrum of the engine vibrates through the floor, promising motion, promising flight. I grip the armrest, feeling the texture under my palms, the promise of safety and wonder molded into the plastic. "Can you believe we're going to do this?" Phoebe whispers from the row ahead, her eyes wide with amazement as she glances back at me. "Every day is an adventure with Ms. Frizzle," I reply, sharing a smile that feels like the first page of an epic tale, written on the wind that courses through the open windows. "Seat belts, everyone." Ms. Frizzle's command cuts through the buzz of excitement, her tone mixing care with a hint of the thrill that awaits. We buckle up, the clicks of fastening seat belts punctuating the air like the start of a symphony. I lean back, let out a breath I didn't know I was holding, and brace myself for whatever incredible journey lies just beyond the horizon. The engine hums to life beneath us, a growl that sends ripples of anticipation through the bus. Ms. Frizzle stands at the helm, her wild curls bouncing as she flashes us a grin that tells of secrets and science beyond our wildest classroom dreams. "Are you ready to get rolling?" she asks, her voice a melody of excitement. We cheer, an orchestra of voices tuned to the pitch of adventure. The air crackles with energy, matching the bus's own thrumming pulse. It's as if the vehicle itself breathes, inhales the spark of curiosity, exhales the thrill of discovery. Ms. Frizzle turns back to her dashboard, fingers dancing across buttons and switches like a conductor before her orchestra. Lights flicker on the panel, a symphony of greens, reds, and blues painting our faces in a kaleidoscope of colors. "Let's not dawdle on details," she says with a wink, and nudges a lever forward. The bus vibrates, a living creature stretching its limbs, shaking off the stillness. I feel the vibration in my bones, a gentle tremor that grows into a determined shake, as if awakening from a deep slumber. It's an electric massage that whispers of motion, of speed, of realms uncharted. "Seat belts should be secure," Ms. Frizzle calls out, her tone firm yet tinged with the giddiness of impending launch. "We wouldn't want anyone floating away when we defy gravity." A laugh ripples through the class, and I double-check my seat belt, pulling it snug against my lap. The fabric feels solid, reliable, a thin line of defense against the unknown. Yet, there's comfort in its embrace, a silent promise that no matter how far we journey, we're tethered to this shared experience. "Next stop, the edges of imagination," Ms. Frizzle declares, her mischievous smile reflecting in the rearview mirror. And with those words, the bus leaps forward, a yellow comet propelled by wonder, by questions, by the boundless joy of learning. Ahead of us stretches a road not just paved with asphalt, but with possibilities, and I can't help but lean into what comes next, the future unfurling like the road before us. The bus inches forward, and I grip the edges of my seat, the worn fabric rough under my fingertips. Excitement pulses through me, a vibrating current shared by every student on board. Outside, the familiar backdrop of our school begins to slide past in a lazy drift. "Here we go, everyone." Ms. Frizzle's voice is a beacon of exhilaration, her red curls dancing with each word. "Hold on to your hypotheses. Think it'll be like a roller coaster." Carlos leans toward me, his dark eyes gleaming with the reflection of adventure. "Probably smoother," Keisha says, adjusting her glasses with a calm precision. Her gaze is fixed ahead, analytical, dissecting each moment as it unfolds. "Or not," Arnold mutters beside me, but his voice betrays a smile. His fingers drum a nervous yet rhythmic pattern on his armrest. The bus gathers momentum, the hum of its engine deepening into a roar. The world outside becomes a streak of colors, a blend of green grass and blue sky melting into a whirlwind of motion. Acceleration is key. Ms. Frizzle calls out above the din. Her dress, a galaxy of planets and stars, seems to swirl with the speed. Whoa, it's really picking up now. Ralphie shouts from the back, his excitement lifting his voice above the growing rush of wind. Remember, velocity is all about direction and speed. Ms. Frizzle's hands are steady on the wheel, guiding us into the great unknown. Best field trip ever. Carlos cheers, and laughter bubbles in my chest. The school shrinks behind us, the playground where we had recess now just a miniature version of itself. We're breaking away from everything familiar, from the everyday to the extraordinary, carried by this incredible machine and the insatiable curiosity that drives us all. Next stop, the horizon of discovery. Ms. Frizzle announces, and the bus leaps forward once more, embracing the open road like a bird taking flight into the vast, uncharted sky. The wind dances through the windows, a playful spirit that scrambles our hair and tugs at our grins. My gaze is glued to the outside world as it morphs into a watercolor wash of motion, streaks of the schoolyard's hues swirling together in a vibrant mix. Take in every sensation, class. Ms. Frizzly Euro trademark S voice sails over the current of air, rich with excitement. These tingles you feel, the rush of the wind Euro, they're all part of the magnificent tapestry of discovery. I draw a deep breath, the air tasting like adventure, tinged with ions of anticipation. The seats hum beneath us, pulsing with the bus's eager heartbeat. Every cell in my body vibrates, resonating with the vehicle's rhythm. We're about to embark on an expedition beyond the ordinary, a journey measured not in miles, but in wonder, she continues, her words painting pictures of worlds we've yet to see. From the microscopic to the cosmic, there are no limits aboard this bus. My classmates' eyes shine, reflecting a myriad of imagined galaxies. I can almost hear their thoughts buzzing, theories and questions already forming. We're a hive of potential, and Ms. Frizzle is our queen bee, leading us towards the nectar of knowledge. Are you ready to push the boundaries of possibility? She doesn't need to ask, our wide-eyed nods and eager murmurs speak volumes. Then let's expand our minds to the size of the universe. As the bus surges ahead, empowered by Ms. Frizzle's infectious zeal, I grip the edge of my seat. The familiar has vanished, replaced by the thrill of the unknown. Our classroom on wheels defies all expectations, much like Ms. Frizzle herself, charting a course through the vast expanse of curiosity. The road stretches before us like a ribbon of possibility, unfolding with every thunderous throb of the engine. I press my forehead against the cool glass, watching the world transform into a streaky watercolor as we gain momentum, our magical school bus an arrow shot into the heart of adventure. Here we go, folks. Ms. Frizzle's voice rings out, bright and buoyant over the roar. Her dress billows around her like a flag of science itself, waving triumphantly in the wind that whips through the open windows. Whoa, this is intense. Ralphie whoops from the seat behind me. His laughter mixes with the sound of the tires humming along the tarmac, a soundtrack to our acceleration. Can this thing go any faster? Carlos chimes in, his grin audible in his voice. Carlos, don't encourage her, Keisha says, but her tone is more exhilarating than scolding. She's scribbling notes already, eyes alight with the same spark that fuels our fearless leader at the wheel. Remember, there's no such thing as too fast in the name of science, Ms. Frizzle calls back, her curls dancing like flames around her head. I can't help but smile, even as my fingers clench tighter around the seat. Arnold lets out a nervous chuckle beside me, his glasses slipping down the bridge of his nose. As long as we're back before dinner, he murmurs, half to himself. Relax, Arnold, it's all part of the Frizzle plan, I reassure him, though my own heart hammers with anticipation. Exactly, Ms. Frizzle confirms. A little uncertainty makes life exhilarating. With a final surge, the bus leaps forward. The scenery blurs into nothingness, we're a vessel unmoored from time and space, venturing into realms untold. My classmates' voices blend together, a symphony of curiosity and courage as we race towards the horizon. Embrace the unknown. Ms. Frizzle declares, the bus answering her command with a burst of speed that pushes us back into our seats. We hold on, carried away by wonder, ready for whatever lies beyond the bend. Chapter 3. Ms. Frizzle stands at the head of the class, her dress a kaleidoscope of cells and organs that seem to pulse with each gesture she makes. Today's field trip, she announces, her voice bubbling with the excitement of effervescent soda, will be an adventure like no other. We're going on a journey into the human body. The room buzzes with a chorus of gasps and murmurs as my classmates shuffle in their seats, eyes wide with anticipation. I glance around, seeing the reflection of the classroom in their eager expressions. The air is electric, charged with the promise of discovery. Board the magic school bus. Ms. Frizzle directs, her arm sweeping toward the familiar vehicle that sits patiently by the curb, its paint gleaming in the sunlight that streams through the windows. We pour out of our seats, a flood of curiosity carrying us to the door. I step onto the bus, feeling the familiar shiver of thrill run down my spine as the interior shifts around us. The walls ripple and the ceiling expands. I grip the seat back as the transformation begins. Is everyone buckled? Ms. Frizzle checks, her eyes scanning each of us with a meticulous care that belies her whimsical appearance. Ready, Ms. Frizzle, we chime in unison, more a choir of adventurers than a simple class of students. With a flick of a switch, a hum vibrates through the floorboards, and the world outside the windows grows exponentially, blades of grass towering like skyscrapers. We shrink, the bus now a vessel navigating a new landscape of epic proportions. Look at that, someone shouts, pointing to the window where red blood cells, colossal and serene, float by like blimps in a parade. Next stop, the bloodstream, Ms. Frizzle declares, her hands steady at the wheel as we dive into the vibrant river of life that courses through veins and arteries. The bus bobs and weaves, a microscopic ship on an ocean of plasma. Wow, escapes my lips, a whisper lost in the sound of our collective awe. The magic school bus tilts, and my knuckles go white gripping the edge of my seat. Arnold's next to me, his fingers clenched around the chrome rail of the seat in front, eyes wide behind the magnified lenses of his glasses. The bus lurches, a red blood cell nearly scraping our window, and Arnold's breath hitches. Hey, Arnold, I start, trying to pry his gaze from the swirling plasma outside. You know, we're basically in a giant game of cells and ladders right now. He gives me a fleeting, anxious smile, the kind that says he appreciates the effort but is too wrapped up in his own head to truly let go. Arnold's always been the cautious one, weighing every outcome before leaping. Right now, though, there's nowhere to leap to, just the endless cavernous tunnels of veins and arteries. Seriously, Arnold, if we were any smaller, we'd need a minicule, Carlos chimes in from across the aisle, his grin broad as the equator. The tension in the air pops like a bubble, laughter trickling in from the back of the bus. Good one, Carlos, someone snickers, and even Ms. Frizzle cracks a smile at the pun. Thanks, I've got them flowing through my veins, Carlos winks, and more giggles ripple through the class. Arnold's grip loosens ever so slightly, his shoulders dropping an inch. A river of curiosity seems to wash away some of his fear as he leans forward, squinting at the cellular scenery whizzing by. Okay, that was pretty good, Arnold admits, the corner of his mouth ticking upward. There's a spark in his eyes now, that telltale sign of wonder that comes when fear starts to lose its grip. Stick with me, buddy, Carlos says, throwing an arm over the back of his seat. I'll keep the bad vibes at bay, one joke at a time. The magic school bus hums and vibrates with the pulse of life all around us. I snap open my notebook, the pages nearly fluttering in the rhythmic currents of the bloodstream. Pen poised, I jot down each observation with rapid precision. Did you see that white blood cell? I ask, scribbling furiously as one engulfs an invader. It's like our own personal security system. Awesome, comes a voice from behind me. It's true, every detail in here is a testament to nature's complexity, and I'm determined to document it all. Keisha's on fire today, someone whispers, but I barely register it. I'm too caught up in the dance of platelets and plasma, the way they weave and dart through narrow vessels. Hey Keisha, think you can write fast enough to keep up with this? Carlos tosses me a playful grin, but I'm unfazed. This is my element. The thrill of discovery courses through me, almost as palpable as the blood coursing around us. Watch me, I reply without missing a beat, my focus unwavering. As we draw closer to the heart, the steady thumping grows louder, nearly drowning out Ms. Frizzle's explanations. We're approaching the engine room of the human body, and anticipation buzzes through the bus. Here it comes, Ms. Frizzle announces as the colossal valves loom into view, opening and closing with mesmerizing synchrony. Wow, escapes from several mouths at once, including mine. I've seen diagrams, watched animations, but nothing compares to witnessing the power and precision of the human heart firsthand. Each contraction sends a wave of red cells surging forward, and I scramble to note the intricate details. Look at it go. It doesn't miss a beat, I say, marveling at the relentless muscle. My pen races across the paper, eager to capture the momenta the sheer magnitude of life's drum. Like the world's most important metronome, Carlos quips beside me, and laughter bubbles up despite the awe that grips us. Exactly, I agree, my eyes never leaving the sight before us. The heart is poetry in motion, and I am its humble scribe, translating its rhythm onto the lines of my page. The magic school bus veers deftly, a stream of red fluid parting around us as we navigate the labyrinthine network of veins. The vessel walls pulse with life, a soft whooshing sound accompanying each heartbeat. It's like flying through an ever-moving tunnel of vitality. Look at the capillaries branching out, Ms. Frizzle points, her voice tinged with excitement. They're the roads to every cell in the body. I press my face against the window, eyes tracing the fine lines of the branching networks. They're so delicate, a web of life-giving paths, and I can't help but feel a jolt of awe. Oxygen-rich cells float past us, their mission clear and vital. Arnold, you okay there? Phoebe asks, noticing my grip on the seat loosen. Why yeah, I stammer, my gaze still locked outside. It's just, incredible. The word feels too small for what I'm feeling, but IRL trademark's all I have. Right? It's like a whole universe in here, Ralphie adds, his own wonder echoing mine. My heart hammers a little less fiercely now, curiosity slowly overtaking the fear. The bus takes a turn, and we're swept along a capillary so narrow that the red cells line up single file to pass through. Single file, just like in school, I murmur, a smile tugging at the corner of my mouth. Except we're learning way more than in any classroom, Phoebe replies, matching my grin. I nod, feeling my cautious nature melt away in the face of this microscopic adventure. With each new sight, each pulsing beat of the heart that guides us, a sense of wonder grows within me, replacing the nervousness that had knotted my stomach earlier. Imagine the stories these cells could tell, I whisper, not really expecting a reply. Probably about the wild ride they're having today, Tim jokes softly beside me, and I chuckle, grateful for the shared moment of levity. We continue our journey, the bus expertly maneuvering through the intricate pathways, and I can't shake the feeling of being part of something much larger than myself. It's a humbling thought, and yet, it fills me with an inexplicable thrill. For once, the unknown doesn't seem quite so daunting. The bus banks sharply, and a chorus of gasps bounces around the interior. I grip the edge of my seat, but instead of fear, a rush of excitement floods through me. The blood river we're riding churns with life, a vibrant red that speaks of vitality and movement. Hey, look! Carlos exclaims from the row ahead, his voice cutting through the steady thrumming sound of blood flow. It's like we're in a high-speed chase on the Vane Highway. Laughter bubbles up from the class, and even Ms. Frizzle chuckles at Carlos' analogy. His wit is a beacon, guiding us through the microscopic world with a smile. Remember to keep your hands and feet inside the ride, he continues, waggling his eyebrows playfully. We wouldn't want to cause a traffic jam. His jokes aren't just words, they're like little sparks lighting up the dark corners of our nerves. They remind us that this journey this incredible, impossible journey is an adventure to be savored, not feared. Carlos has a point, I say, leaning closer to Keisha, who sits beside me, her digital pad at the ready. This is one field trip we'll never forget. Definitely, Keisha replies without looking up, her fingers flying over the screen as she records every observation. Did you see how the white blood cells patrol? Like tiny guardians of the bloodstream. I peer at her screen, marveling at the level of detail she's capturing. The branching veins, the delicate capillaries, the relentless march of the red blood cells. Her dedication to documenting is as unwavering as Carla's trademark humor. Together, they're the yin and yang of our class, one sparking laughter, the other preserving knowledge. Got it, she says, satisfaction in her tone as she adds another note to her growing collection. Every twist and turn. Every cell. It's all here. Awesome, I reply, impressed by her thoroughness. I glance back towards Carlos, who's now pantomiming a dramatic feint to illustrate what might happen if one of us were to escape the bus. Oxygen levels dropping, he cries out, only to bounce back up with a wide grin. Just kidding. We've got the best pilot in the biz. The class erupts into giggles again, and I can't help but join in. With each joke, Carlos chips away at the last remnants of our anxiety, reshaping it into wonder. And with each entry Keisha makes, she ensures this wonder will be remembered, studied, and marveled at long after we return to our normal size. Next stop, the heart, Ms. Frizzle announces, her eyes twinkling behind those swirling glasses. I can feel it already, the anticipation building like the crescendo of a symphony. This is it, the core of our voyage. I exchange a glance with Keisha, her eyes alight with the promise of discovery, and then back at Carlos, whose grin tells me he's ready with a new set of heart-related puns. Brace for impact, I murmur, half to myself, half to them, as the magic school bus accelerates toward the beating drum that powers this entire world within a world. The magic school bus shudders as we approach the final stretch, a cavernous tunnel lined with glistening pink. Hold on, everyone. Ms. Frizzle's voice rings out, as excited as if she's doing this for the first time. I grip the seat, my fingers sticky with anticipation and a hint of saliva that seems to permeate the air. Are we surfing a tongue wave? Carlos quips, his voice bubbling with laughter even as we're jostled by the movement. More like riding the world's squishiest slide, I retort, trying not to think about the fact that we're about to be expelled from a human body. The bus lurches, tilting precariously as we crest the rise of the tongue. A flood of light blinds us momentarily, Athena freedom. We burst forth, launching into the air, and suddenly we're engulfed in the taste of mint and the sensation of cool breath washing over us. It's a sensory overload after the constant warmth of the interior, but it's exhilarating. Phew, talk about morning breath. Carlos can't resist one last jab, even as he breathes deep, savoring the return to regular size. Did you get all of that, Keisha? I ask, turning to see her close her notebook with a satisfied snap. Every last capillary, she confirms, her eyes bright with triumph. This is going to make an amazing report. We gather around Ms. Frizzle, who looks as wild and wonderful as ever, her dress now sporting a new pattern that seems to pulse with life. What did we think of our little excursion, she asks, her hands framing the word little with air quotes. Little. Arnold chimes in, finally releasing his white-knuckled grip on the seat. That was humongous. His voice is tinged with awe, the nervous edge gone. Exactly, Ms. Frizzle beams. To think, all of that happening inside us every moment of every day. I look at my classmates, their faces alight with the same spark of curiosity that fuels our teacher. We've journeyed through veins, dodged white blood cells, and felt the heart's mighty thunder. Who knew biology could be such an adventure? I muse aloud. Or that the human body was its own universe, adds Keisha, already flipping through her notes, eager to revisit our journey. Ms. Frizzle, I begin, thank you for €1. Taking chances, making mistakes, and getting messy, she finishes for me, her eyes twinkling. Exactly, I say, grinning back. And for showing us the world in ways we never imagined. As we disembark from the magic school bus, our classroom no longer feels quite so ordinary. We're explorers returning from the unknown, brimming with stories of the incredible voyage within. Chapter 4. The second my sneakers hit the deck of the magic school bus, a surge of electricity zips through me. It's morphing right before my eyes, panels shifting and screens flickering to life, transforming into a high-tech weather station that looks like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. I can't help but bounce on the balls of my feet, my heart pounding with the promise of adventure that soars as high as we're about to. Check this out, Ralphie. Dorothy Ann, or Da as we sometimes call her, swings her backpack around, unzipping it with a swift motion that speaks of practiced precision. She's already pulling out an array of gadgets, €1 a barometer, a hygrometer, a couple of thermometers, €1 and her trusty notebook, its pages crisp and eager for new data. Wow, Da, you're all set up, I say, leaning over to catch a glimpse of her gear. It's like she's got a sixth sense for weather. She knows exactly what's needed to capture the essence of the stormy atmosphere we're diving into. Absolutely. Gotta record the air pressure changes accurately, she replies, pushing her glasses up the bridge of her nose with a determination that's almost palpable. There's a sparkle in her eye that tells me she's in her element. And the humidity and temperature too, of course. Bet you'll have enough data to write your own weather encyclopedia by the time we get back down, I joke, grinning wide. But truthfully, I'm impressed. Da's passion for science is as infectious as my love for a good challenge. Maybe 2 encyclopedias, she quips back, her fingers deftly adjusting the dials on her instruments. There's no mistaking the excitement in her voice, it rings clear even as the bus's engines start to hum, signaling our imminent launch into the skies. All right, team, buckle up. I call out, clapping my hands together. The thrill of the unknown rushes through me, and I can hardly wait to see what kind of wild weather awaits us. With Da's brains and my brawn, I know we're ready for whatever this high-altitude adventure throws our way. The magic school bus heaves upward, and my stomach does a somersault of pure excitement. The windows vibrate with the roar of wind outside, a symphony to adventure seekers like me. I grip the edge of my seat, feeling the power of the ascent as we punch through layer after layer of atmosphere. Can you believe this? I shout over the din, eyes wide with anticipation. Each gust seems to shake the bus, daring it to climb higher. Believe it? I'm worried about it. Phoebe's voice cuts through the storm's growl, her green eyes fierce as lightning flashes. She's standing now, hands gripping a seat back for balance. Every one of these weather patterns we're experiencing is affected by us, by humanity. I glance at her, intrigued despite the thrill of the climb. She's got that look she gets when there's something important on her mind, something bigger than all of us. Think about it, Ralphie, she continues, passion rising in her tone like the temperature in a pressure system. Our actions have consequences. We change the environment every day, and not always for the better. Like with pollution and stuff. I ask, watching a cloud whip past, close enough to touch. Exactly. And deforestation, overfishing. We've got to start thinking conservation, or the planet's going to look a lot different for future generations. Her ponytail whips around her face as another gust slams into the bus, but her gaze never wavers. Whoa, that's intense. I admit, feeling a twinge of something more than adrenaline. Respect, maybe. Phoebe's words add weight to the winds, grounding the excitement with a sobering truth. Intense, but true. She braces as the bus lurches, but doesn't sit down. We can still fix it, though. If we work together. Teamwork. I like the sound of that. I nod, heart racing for new reasons now. Maybe it's not just the rush of facing down gale force winds. Maybe it's the idea that we could be heroes in more ways than one, euro protectors of the very skies we're exploring. Me too, Phoebe smiles, and even as the bus trembles and tilts, pushing ever upward, her smile doesn't falter. It's like she's found her footing even as we leave the earth far below. And just like that, my mission feels a whole lot bigger. The magic school bus shudders as we climb higher, the view outside shifting from sprawling cityscape to the open expanse of sky. The atmosphere thickens with anticipation, and I can't help but glance over at Dorothy Ann. She's a picture of concentration, her glasses perched on the bridge of her nose, a pen dancing between her fingers as she scribbles down numbers that dance across the screens of our makeshift weather station. Air pressure's dropping, she announces, voice steady despite the Busa Euro trademark's vibrations. We're nearing the tropopause. Her words are precise, each syllable enunciated with the clarity of someone Euro trademark's found their calling amidst barometers and thermometers. Temperature's taking a nosedive too, she adds, eyes never leaving the page as she records another set of data. I watch her, fascinated by how engrossed she is in capturing every shift, every whisper of change in the air around us. Da's in her element, surrounded by gadgets and graphs that would make most heads spin. And then there's Phoebe, standing firm as the wind howls like a banshee outside. It's wild enough to drown out any conversation, but her voice cuts through it all, strong and unwavering. Think about this power, she shouts, gesturing at the tempest beyond the glass. Nature's incredible, euro, we have to respect it, protect it. Her green eyes blaze with an intensity that matches the storm's fury. With every word, she paints a vision of a world where we tread lightly, where every action counts. It's inspiring and a bit daunting, but there's truth in her urgency, a beacon of hope that we could steer this ship towards a brighter horizon. Changes start with us, she continues, her ponytail now a tangled flag of defiance against the squall. Small choices, big impacts. Dan nods without looking up, lost in her observations, but I sense her agreement. It's as if she's recording more than just atmospheric anomalies, she's documenting the foundation of a promise, a commitment to better stewardship etched into every line of data. Exactly, I chime in, feeling my own resolve strengthen. One step at a time. Phoebe smiles, and even though the bus rocks and jostles on unseen currents, her spirit seems unshakable. We've soared above the clouds only to find that our true journey, euro, the quest to safeguard the sky we're soaring through, euro, has just begun. The magic school bus tilts, and a burst of wind howls against the reinforced windows. I brace my feet wide apart, flexing my knees like I'm ready to catch a fly ball in center field. The gale outside is fierce, and I can almost feel the game-changing energy of it coursing through me. It's like riding the biggest wave. I shout over the din, imagining myself surfing atop a cresting swell of air. Ralphie, check this out. Da calls from her station, not even a smidge distracted by the storm symphony. She's scribbling so fast it's like her pen is on fire. Numbers, charts, graphs, her notebook's filling up with them at warp speed. I sidle over, careful not to jostle her arm. Pressure's dropping faster than a free fall, she explains without missing a beat, eyes never leaving the page. We're getting some invaluable data here. I peek over her shoulder, but it's all Greek to me. Still, I'm stoked just watching her work, it's like she's got the superpower, decoding the secrets of the sky. You're smashing it, duh. I give her an encouraging nod, which she returns with a focused smile, still utterly absorbed in her task. Thanks, Ralphie. Her voice is steady, her mind sharp as a tack. Now let's hope we make it through this turbulence with enough data for Ms. Frizzle's class project. Easy, I grin back, feeling the rush. It's all part of the adventure, right? And with another gust shaking the bus, our adventure is far from over. Guys, listen. Phoebe's voice cuts through the chaos, and somehow, it's like she flips a switch on the whole bus. The wind's still howling, and the magic school bus is shuddering with each blast, but we all fall silent. Every storm, every gust of wind it's telling us something important. I turn to her, my heart still hammering from the thrill. She's standing there, green eyes ablaze, gripping the back of a seat as if it anchors her to this moment, to this cause. Can you see what we're doing to our planet? Phoebe continues, her words rising above the roar outside. This isn't just weather, it's a message. We have to change. Recycle. Save energy. Do anything to help. She's right. As much as I love the adrenaline, I can't ignore the tug in my chest. Her passion's infectious, and even I start picturing those recycling bins at home, feeling a bit guilty about leaving the tap running sometimes. Phoebe's got a point, I admit, nodding, and from the looks on everyone's faces, they're with me. We've got work to do when we get back on solid ground. Then, without warning, thud, thud, thud. Hailstones smack against the bus like a barrage of fastballs, and I'm yanked back into the now into the wild heart of adventure. Whoa! I yell, pressing my face against the window, eyes wide. The hail's coming down hard, pelting us with icy missiles that could dent a car hood. It's intense, it's crazy, and yeah, it's kinda dangerous, but man, I'm alive with it. Every impact jolts through me, and I can't help but grin. Ralphie, careful. Duh shouts over the cacophony, but I'm already bouncing on my toes, ready for whatever the storm throws at us. Bring it on. I challenge the tempest, feeling invincible inside Ms. Frizzle's incredible, unstoppable, magic school bus. The hailstones hammer at the bus, a relentless drum beat that threatens to drown out even the steady thrum of my own heart. I glance over at Dorothy Ann, expecting her to be as captivated by the fury outside as I am. But she's not. Pressure's dropping fast, Duh mutters, her voice steady over the roar, eyes never leaving the barometer. Humidity Euro trademark S spiking. Her fingers fly across the pages of her notebook, scribbling down numbers with precision. The chaos of the storm doesn't faze her, if anything, it's like fuel, igniting her passion for facts and figures. The girl's in her element, amidst the elements. Look at the size of those hailstones. I call to her, gesturing wildly towards the window. Ralphie, they're significant, yes, she says without looking up, but what's more critical is the data they provide. It's all interconnected. I shake my head, grinning despite myself. Trusted to find joy in numbers while the world's going ice crazy outside. Phoebe, meanwhile, stands gripping the back of a seat, her knuckles white but her voice unwavering as she continues her impromptu lecture. These storms aren't just wild rides, guys. They're warning signs, red flags waved by our planet. Like the Earth's throwing hailstones instead of hands up, I quip, but there's a knot of worry forming in my gut. Phoebe, a Euro trademark S, right, this isn't a Euro trademark T, just cool, a Euro trademark S, a call to action. Exactly, Phoebe presses on, eyes flaring with intensity. If we don't adopt sustainable practices, reduce our carbon footprint, these weather events will only get worse. More frequent. More destructive. Kinda puts things into perspective, I say, watching another volley of ice crash against us. Doesn't it just? Phoebe nods sharply. We have to act, Ralphie. Not just understand, but do something. Starting with education, Da chimes in, finally looking up from her notes, her glasses catching the flash of lightning outside. Knowing is half the battle. Acting on it is the next step. With the storm raging around us, I feel a surge of determination. We might be kids on a magic school bus, but we've got power the power to learn, to share, to change things. I'm ready to take that seriously. With Da's knowledge and Phoebe's drive, we're more than just passengers on this ride. We're agents of change, braving the storm now so we can calm future ones. All right, I nod, let's do this. The magic school bus bucks and dips, a wild bronco caught in the sky's uproar. I grip my seat, grinning as wide as the horizon beyond our windows. The storm trademark a living thing, all sound and fury, and it's magnificent. Whoa, did you guys see that? My shout barely rises above the thunder's rumble, but excitement trademark a current zapping through me, impossible to contain. This is epic. Dorothy Ann, doesn't look up, her pen a blur on the page of her notebook. Her instruments a barometer, hygrometer, and thermometer line up like soldiers on the dashboard, each one feeding her hunger for data. She's the eye of this tempest, calm and collected. Pressure's dropping rapidly, she calls out, eyes never leaving the readout. We're really in the thick of it now. I lean closer, watching numbers tumble as the atmosphere throws its weight around us. The bus shudders, hailstones drumming a fierce rhythm against the metal skin, but Da trademark's focus is unshakable. Her notes are meticulous, a map charting the storm's wild heart. Ralphie, you're practically buzzing, Da observes without looking up, a smile in her voice. You should have been a meteorologist. Too still, I retort, adrenaline fizzing through me. I'm built for action. Clearly, she laughs, finally glancing my way. Thanks for keeping the energy up. It helps. Anytime, Da. I beam, proud to be her counterbalance, chaos to her order. That's what teammates do. Indeed, she nods, turning back to her work with renewed vigor. Now let's gather some groundbreaking data. Groundbreaking, skybreaking, we're doing it all. I cheer, peering out at the jagged dance of lightning across the clouds. This storm's not just a ride, it's a message, and together, we're decoding it. Wind howls like a feral creature outside the bus, but inside, Phoebe's voice slices through the tumult with the precision of a scalpel. She stands amid us, a commander rallying her troops, her green eyes alight with a fire that could outshine the storm. We can't ignore this, she implores, hands gesturing to the chaos beyond the windows. We're here witnessing nature's power, but remember, we have the power to protect it too. I nod, feeling the weight of her words settle in my chest. The bus rocks as another gust of wind assaults us. I brace myself against the seat, but Phoebe remains steadfast, her ponytail whipping like a battle standard. Every choice we make, she continues, from the plastic we use to the energy we consume, it all echoes in these winds. Her curly hair is a wild halo around her determined face. But we can change the tune. Change how? A voice asks from behind me, tentative yet curious. Simple steps. Big leaps. Phoebe's hands come together, a symbol of unity. Recycle. Conserve water. Advocate for renewable energy. It starts with us, she says, and even as hailstones clatter against the bus like a drumbeat of urgency, her conviction doesn't waver. Right, I say, voice stronger than I expect. We're the next generation. We've got to set the example, right? Exactly, Phoebe nods, her smile a streak of sunlight breaking through storm clouds. Our planet is our responsibility. Let's be the heroes it needs. Heroes for Earth, another classmate murmurs, and the sentiment begins to spread, whispers of agreement weaving through the cabin like tendrils of hope. Phoebe's right, Dorothy Ann pipes up, her gaze lifted from her notebook for the first time in hours. Data's crucial, but action is key. Then let's pledge it, Phoebe suggests, her voice now a beacon calling us to safer shores. To do better, be better. For our home, our environment. Deal, we echo in unison, the promise binding us together, stronger than the tempest raging outside. As the Magic School Bus navigates the fury of the high-altitude adventure, within its walls, a different kind of storm brews, a storm of change, charged with the electricity of collective resolve. Chapter 5. I grip the edge of my seat as the Magic School Bus, now a gleaming drill-shaped vessel, rumbles beneath us. Ms. Frizzle stands at the front, her wild red curls bouncing with each vibration of the craft. Her dress today is a tapestry of earthy browns and fiery reds, a perfect match for our descent into the planet's heart. Remember, class, Ms. Frizzle says, her voice bubbling with excitement, our mission is to gather samples that tell the story of Earth's geological past. Each rock, each mineral, each core sample holds a chapter of history waiting to be read. The bus lurches forward, and a collective gasp fills the cabin. We're drilling, actually burrowing into the layers of the Earth. The walls of the tunnel outside glow from the friction, a kaleidoscope of oranges and reds dancing across my classmates' awestruck faces. Isn't this astounding? Wanda Lee exclaims next to me, her eyes wide with the thrill of it all. She's always the first to dive in head first, brave and bold as ever. Totally, I reply, my stomach doing flips as we plunge deeper. Wanda is already scanning the chamber, her hand hovering above the assortment of tools Ms. Frizzle provided. Look at this one. Wanda cries out, pointing at a chunk of rock with flecks of something shiny. She deftly uses the tongs to pluck it from the wall and drops it into a container. Good eye, Wanda. Ms. Frizzle encourages, peering over her shoulder. That sparkle could be a clue to the minerals formed under these extreme conditions. Thanks, Ms. Frizzle, Wanda grins, pride evident in her voice. She turns to me, her smile infectious. Let's see what other secrets we can uncover down here. I nod, feeling the jolt of adventure coursing through me. With Wanda leading the way, there's no telling what we'll discover. A bead of sweat trickles down my forehead, and I wipe it away hastily. The air inside the Magic School Bus feels thick, heavy with a heat that presses against my skin like a blanket fresh from the dryer. All around me, my classmates fan themselves, their excitement now mingled with the harsh reality of the Earth's core. Stay hydrated, everyone. Ms. Frizzle calls out, her voice as buoyant as ever despite the sweltering conditions. She hands out water bottles with a flourish, her dress adorned with swirling patterns of magma and tectonic plates. I gulp down the water, grateful for the brief respite. It's hard to believe we're surrounded by layers of solid rock, miles beneath the surface, in a place few have dared to venture. Remember, class, Ms. Frizzle says, gesturing to the glowing walls around us, the deeper we go, the hotter and more pressurized it gets. It's like being in a gigantic pressure cooker. Except we're the ones getting cooked, Arnold mutters beside me, his face flushed red. But he's grinning, clearly up for the challenge. We all are. Exactly, Arnold. Ms. Frizzle exclaims, unfazed. And just like in a pressure cooker, heat and pressure work together here to create some of the most fascinating geological formations. As we continue our descent, the bus shudders slightly, adjusting to the increasing pressure. I peer out the window, marveling at the shimmering veins of minerals etched into the rocks. Wanda is already reaching for another sample, her movements slow but precise due to the oppressive environment. Whoa, look at that. I point to a formation unlike anything I've seen before. It's as if the rock itself is flowing, caught midstream. Ah, you've spotted some foliation. Ms. Frizzle beams, peering over my shoulder. That's when minerals are aligned under pressure. It's like nature's art, isn't it? Nature's art, I echo, the phrase sticking with me. This whole experience is a masterpiece, each layer and crystal telling a story millions of years old. Keep your eyes peeled, class. Ms. Frizzle continues, her enthusiasm undiminished by the dense heat. Each rock, each mineral has its own tale to tell. You're not just explorers, you're storytellers, unraveling the narrative of our planet. Around me, my classmates nod, their energy renewed by Ms. Frizzle's words. Despite the heat that envelopes us, our mission is clear, to explore, to learn, and to discover the secrets held tight by the Earth's core. And with Ms. Frizzle guiding us, I'm certain there's no mystery we can't uncover. I brush away a curtain of sweat from my forehead, watching Wanda scoop up another sample with hands that never seem to tremble. Her excitement is a live wire zipping through the cramped space of the magic school bus, igniting a spark in each of us. We're deep below the Earth's crust, in a place few have ventured, and her zeal is the beacon we rally around. Check this out! Ralphie exclaims, his voice echoing slightly against the metal walls. He's clutching a chunk of rock speckled with tiny, glinting flecks. It's like holding a piece of the night sky, each sparkle a distant star. Nice find, Ralphie. I reply, grinning at his proud expression. What's it called? Pyrite, Ms. Frizzle answers for him, her eyes twinkling behind those swirly glasses. Fool's gold, but there's nothing foolish about this discovery. The bus judders again, a gentle reminder that we're visitors here, in the belly of the planet. I reach down and pluck a warm, reddish stone from the ground, its surface smooth from the geological forces that have shaped it over millennia. Quartz, I murmur, rolling the word off my tongue as I turn the stone over between my fingers. It feels almost alive, humming with ancient energy. Let's document these beauties, Wanda says, her voice a rallying cry. She's already scribbling in her notebook, each word a meticulous record of our journey's yield. I follow suit, jotting down the coordinates of where I found the quartz, its weight and dimensions, the way its facets catch the light. Be sure to note the striations on that one, Arnold, Ms. Frizzle instructs, peering over his shoulder at a particularly interesting specimen he's examining. They tell a story of immense pressure and shifting earth. One by one, we take turns under Ms. Frizzle's watchful eye, cataloging our finds. The heat presses in, a constant reminder of the core's fiery heart, but it doesn't dampen our spirits. If anything, it fuels them, pushing us to uncover more, learn more, be more. Got it all down, Ms. Frizzle, Phoebe calls out, closing her notebook with a snap. Her cheeks are flushed with more than just the heat, it's the thrill of discovery, the joy of adding to the collective knowledge of our class and maybe, just maybe, the world. Excellent work, class, Ms. Frizzle says, pride evident in her voice. You're all rock stars today. Laughter ripples through us, a cool breeze in the stifling air. We exchange glances, a silent agreement that this adventure, this moment, has bonded us in ways we couldn't have imagined. And as we pack up our samples, carefully protecting them for the journey upward, I can't help but feel that this is just the beginning. There's so much more to discover, and with Wanda leading the charge, there's no limit to what we might find. The drill whirs and vibrates beneath our feet, the magic school bus pressing onward into the unknown. My body has learned to move with the rhythm of the machine, muscles no longer cramping under the strain of heat and pressure. Sweat beads on my forehead, but it feels like a natural part of this subterranean world now. Look over here. Ralphie shouts, his voice echoing off the crystalline walls. We crowd around him, peering at an array of vibrant crystals jutting out from the rock fascia, a kaleidoscope of colors that seems to dance in the bus's soft glow. Amethysts, quartz, and is this, citron? I murmur, reaching out to gently touch a golden point. It's warm, almost humming with the Earth's energy. Exactly, Carlos. Ms. Frizzle beams from behind her oversized spectacles, her dress today adorned with images of shimmering gems matching our discovery. These crystals formed under incredible conditions. They're Earth's natural treasures. Keisha snaps pictures, her camera capturing every sparkling detail. Tim sketches in his notebook, his pencil moving deftly as he records the intricacies of the formations. Ms. Frizzle, Arnold asks, his brow furrowed in thought, how do these help us understand the Earth's history? Ah, an excellent question, Arnold. Ms. Frizzle claps her hands together. Each crystal tells a story, a euro of time, of change, of the alchemy that transforms simple elements under extreme conditions. She gestures grandly at the crystals. They are like pages in a geological diary, waiting for us to read them. Whoa! We all breathe out in unison, our gazes fixed on the glinting formations. By collecting these samples, you're not just adventurers, you're historians, uncovering the secrets of our planet's past, Ms. Frizzle continues, her voice filled with passion. Your work today contributes to the great tapestry of scientific understanding. I feel a surge of pride, a sense of purpose. We're not just kids on a field trip, we're explorers on the frontier of knowledge, witnesses to mysteries unraveling before our eyes. Let's keep moving, class, Ms. Frizzle encourages, her eyes twinkling with excitement. There's so much more to see, to learn, to discover. And with that, we delve deeper, the magic school bus carrying us further into the heart of the Earth, where each rock, each mineral, each crystal holds a piece of the story we're eager to tell. The drill whirs to life, and our magic school bus shudders gently, signaling the start of our ascent. I press my hands against the cool, metal wall for balance as we leave behind the heart of Earth, the vibrant core shrinking away beneath us like a fiery star into the night sky. Wow, Wanda exhales next to me, her voice carrying the weight of our shared wonder. The samples in her arms clink softly, a symphony of geology. Who would have thought we'd actually be touching pieces of the Earth's core one day? I muse, feeling the rough texture of a basalt sample between my fingers. It's a tangible piece of mystery, a puzzle from the deep that we're taking back with us. Ms. Frizzle, how long until we reach the surface? Arnold's question cuts through the hum of the bus's engines, his tone mixed with reluctance and anticipation. Patience, Arnold. We'll be there in a geological blink of an eye, Ms. Frizzle responds, her curly red hair bouncing with each bump and vibration of our climb. But don't forget to take in every moment, this adventure is one for the history books. As we wind our way upwards, the heat that once pressed against our skin like a smothering blanket fades into a comfortable warmth. Carlos cracks a joke about sauna trips never being the same, and even Arnold chuckles, his glasses slipping down the bridge of his nose. Think of all the reports we can write. Dorothy Ann exclaims, already flipping through her notes, her eyes alight with the thrill of analysis. The data we've collected could change how we understand plate tectonics. Or even how we approach environmental conservation, Phoebe adds, tying her passion for the planet to the rocks nestled in her eco-friendly tote bag. Indeed, Keisha nods, her organized mind already categorizing the potential impact of our findings. We might just inspire a new generation of scientists. Hey, Ralphie, toss me that quartz sample, Carlos calls out, gesturing for the football-shaped rock. Ralphie lobs it over with precision, a reminder of the teamwork that's gotten us this far. Great catch, Carlos. I cheer, impressed by their effortless camaraderie. Thanks, but the real MVP here is the Earth, Carlos grins, holding the quartz up to the light. The bus trembles slightly as we break through another layer, the darkness giving way to lighter shades of subterranean shadows. We all gather around the windows, peering out at the changing landscape of the underground world. Look at that stratum. Dorothy Ann points, her finger tracing the lines of ancient sedimentary layers on the other side of the glass. Amazing. Arnold breathes, pushing his glasses back up and scribbling something in his own notebook. Remember these sites, class, Ms. Frizzle says, her voice a blend of pride and excitement. They are the bedrock of your education. As the final stretch of our journey upward begins, the bus fills with chatter about what we've seen and learned. Theories are exchanged, questions are raised, and laughter echoes off the walls, a testament to the unbreakable bond forged in the crucible of exploration. Home sweet home, I whisper to myself, gazing at the receding core, already feeling the stories it has ignited within me. Stories of adventure, discovery, and the relentless quest for knowledge. All right, everyone, prepare for surface entry, Ms. Frizzle announces, and we brace ourselves for the transition from the depths of the earth to the familiar skies above. Next stop, the classroom. Ralphie shouts, his voice full of energy, and we all erupt into cheers. Our journey to the core has ended, but our Adventuria Euro, the adventure of learning and growing Euro, has only just begun. Chapter 6. The rumble of the engines vibrates through me as we strap into the magic school bus, our very own rocket ship for the day. Excitement crackles in the air like static, each of us buzzing with anticipation. I adjust my glasses, trying to appear calm, but my heart thumps a wild rhythm against my chest. We're about to blast off into space. Ready, class? Ms. Frizzle's voice is the spark that lights the fuse. Let's take chances, make mistakes, and get messy, in space. With a whoosh that pins me to my seat, the bus hurtles upward, and my stomach lurches as if it's trying to catch up. The pressure is immense, a giant hand pressing me down until suddenly, it's gone. Weightlessness. It's like plunging into water without the wetness, my limbs drifting away from me. I float, untethered, a bubble of laughter escaping my lips. Look outside, Arnold, someone shouts. I twist toward the window, my breath catching. There, spread out before us, is the vast canvas of space. Galaxies wheel in slow motion, pinpricks of light scattered across the dark. Nebulae bloom in bursts of color, reds and blues swirling together in a celestial dance. It's beautiful and terrifying in its endlessness. I pull out my notebook, the one with the sturdy cover and lined pages, perfect for recording every detail. My pencil floats, and I pin it down, scribbling furiously. A star catches my eye, smaller than the rest, pulsing with newborn light. I jot down its coordinates, its glow, the way it seems to breathe life into the void. Hey Arnold, you hearing this? Carlos nudges me, his grin floating above his head. He starts making bleep bloop noises, pretending to converse with aliens. His laughter is contagious, bouncing around the cabin, and I can't help but join in. Documenting first contact, Carlos. I manage between chuckles. Absolutely. And they say their sense of humor is out of this world, he quips. We drift past stars in their infancy and those winking out, the cycle of cosmic life unfolding before us. A burst of light flares, and we witness the birth of a star, its fiery cradle casting shadows over our faces. I write faster, trying to capture the wonder, the brilliance, the sheer scale of it all. Isn't it incredible, class? Ms. Frizzle calls out, her hair seeming to defy gravity more than usual. You're seeing the universe's nursery. Space stretches on, dotted with marvels beyond my wildest dreams. And here I am, notebook in hand, ready to learn each secret it holds. The nebula looms ahead, a colossal cloud of color and chaos. I press my face to the glass, eyes tracing the spirals of gas and dust that dance like cosmic ribbons in the void. It's a masterpiece on an interstellar canvas. Wow, you getting all this? I call out to Dorothy Ann. She floats next to me, camera in hand, her finger a blur as she captures every swirl, every hue. Every bit of it, Arnold, she replies, her voice steady with concentration. This will make for some stunning visuals in our project. Ms. Frizzle's voice breaks through the trance the nebula has cast over us. Hold onto your asteroids, class. We're about to experience the ride of a lifetime. Before I can process her words, the bus lurches forward, and we're hurtling towards a darkness so profound it swallows the stars around it. I grip the edge of my seat, the black hole pulling at us with an invisible force that feels alive, hungry. Is that a euro? My question is cut short by the sudden weight that crushes me into my chair as Ms. Frizzle deftly navigates around the gravitational monster. Indeed, Arnold. A black hole, she confirms, her voice a mix of thrill and focus. We're using its gravity to slingshot us back on course. My chest heaves against the pressure, breaths coming out in ragged gasps. The rest of the class is silent, each of us pinned by the intense pull. Through the strain, I sneak a glance at Dorothy Ann. Even now, she's determined, her camera clutched tightly, documenting the harrowing encounter. Everyone okay back there? Ms. Frizzle calls out, her tone suggesting she's as exhilarated by the danger as she is by any scientific discovery. Define okay. Carlos manages to joke, his voice strained. I can't help but laugh, a bubble of hysteria in my throat. Fear and excitement mingle, forming a cocktail of adrenaline that courses through my veins. We're at the mercy of the cosmos, and yet there's nowhere else I'd rather be. Nice maneuvering, Ms. Frizzle. I shout over the hum of the engines working overtime. Thank you, Arnold. Remember, space isn't just about the wonders, it's also about the unexpected thrills. Her laughter rings out, infectious and bold, a testament to the indomitable spirit of exploration that brought us here. And just like that, the gravitational grip releases us, sending a wave of relief through my body. We've survived the slingshot, hearts racing, ready for whatever comes next in this vast, incredible universe. The stars steady themselves in my vision as the tumultuous dance with gravity ends. A collective exhalation fills the cabin of the magic school bus, a chorus of breaths shared by my classmates. We're weightless once more, but this time the sensation is comforting, familiar. I drift toward the window, pressing my nose against the glass, peering at the waning distortion where the black hole had been an abyss that almost claimed us. Wow, I whisper, my voice barely audible over the hum of the engines. The vastness of space seems gentler now, a grand tapestry of light and shadow. Space isn't a Euro trademark T, just an abstract concept from textbooks, it a Euro trademark S real, a living canvas of wonders and dangers. Back on course for Earth, Ms. Frizzle announces, her words laced with the satisfaction of another successful adventure. I pull out my notebook, the pages floating before me. My pencil hovers over the paper, then dances across it in a flurry of graphite. Today, we danced with the unknown, flirted with oblivion, and emerged with a new respect for the cosmos. Each word is a testament to what we've encountered, each sentence a bridge between my former apprehensions and this newfound thirst for discovery. Arnold, you're writing like there's no tomorrow. Carlos quips, peeking over my shoulder. His laughter, still tinged with leftover adrenaline, echoes around us. Maybe because today felt like we saw every tomorrow all at once, I reply, my heart still doing somersaults. Space, it's bigger than any of us can imagine. Deep stuff, Arnold, Dorothy Ann chimes in, securing her camera with images that will speak louder than any report. Can't wait to see your notes. Me neither, I say, gratitude swelling within me. I jot down one last thought, thank you, Ms. Frizzle, for steering us through the stars, and showing us that the universe is the greatest classroom of all. As the Earth grows larger in our view, anticipation buzzes through the cabin. We're scientists returning from the field, explorers coming home from the frontier. Every particle of my being vibrates with excitement for the next chapter, the next question, the next journey. Because now, more than ever, I understand that out there, beyond the safety of our atmosphere, lies an infinite realm of possibilities waiting to be unraveled. Chapter 7. The moment Miss Frizzle announces, "Seat belts, everyone," the energy aboard the magic school bus is electric. We're buzzing, a hive of anticipation, as we strap ourselves into a vessel that's more spaceship than school transport. I can't help but press my nose against the glass, watching as the bus morphs, panels shifting and sealing until we're encased in a sleek submersible. Here we go. Ralphie shouts beside me, his voice brimming with the thrill only the promise of adventure can bring. The sunlight dances on the surface above us, a shimmering curtain waving farewell as we sink into the blue unknown. Isn't it incredible? I hear Dorothy Ann breathe out, her eyes wide behind her glasses, fingers already poised over her notepad. As the light dims, the ocean reveals its secrets in bursts of color. Neon fish dart past, their hues unnatural, like living highlighters set free. Check it out, someone gasps, and we all turn to see a manta ray, a shadow at first, then a graceful giant gliding by our window to the deep. Rays can have a wingspan up to 7 meters, Dorothy Ann informs us, her pen scratching furiously across the paper. 7 meters. They're like underwater birds. Ralphie's enthusiasm is infectious, and even though I've always been about preservation over observation, I can't help but share in his awe. Speaking of preservation, I chime in, turning to face my classmates, who are all fixed to the windows. All this beauty could be lost if we don't take care of our oceans. Phoebe's right, Miss Frizzle adds, her eyes meeting mine in the rearview mirror. The ocean needs our help. Pollution, overfishing, I continue, riding the wave of attention. They're real threats. We have to do something. Whoa, did you see that one? It just disappeared. Ralphie points to a spot where an octopus had been, its camouflage a masterpiece of nature's design. An excellent adaptation for both hunting and defense, Dorothy Ann notes aloud, adding a sketch of the elusive creature to her growing collection. Strength isn't just muscle, huh? Ralphie says, throwing me a grin. Exactly, I reply, smiling back. It's being smart, adapting, surviving. Like us, Dorothy Ann concludes, closing her notebook with a soft snap. Always learning, always exploring. Always protecting, I add firmly, determined to make sure our underwater journey leaves more than memory it leaves a legacy. The magic school bus, now a sleek submersible, glides effortlessly through the ocean depths. Around us, the vibrant coral reef teems with life, painting the darkness with bursts of color. My heart races as I watch a parade of clownfish darting in and out of their anemone homes. Guys! Look over there! Carlos exclaims, pointing to a shadow lurking just beyond the reach of the bus's headlights. Is that a Euro? Arnold starts, his voice trailing off into a gasp. SHH, Ms. Frizzle hushes, her eyes narrowing with focus. We don't want to startle it. Liz clambers onto the dashboard, her tongue flicking out, tasting the tension in the water. The shadow moves closer, revealing itself, a massive shark, its sleek form a testament to eons of evolution. My breath catches in my throat, we're in the presence of a true apex predator. Keep steady, Keisha whispers, her camera poised. This is incredible footage. Everyone, stay calm, Ms. Frizzle instructs. Let's show our respect for this magnificent creature by giving it space. We watch, transfixed, as the shark circles us once and then, seemingly disinterested, vanishes into the murky waters. A collective sigh of relief fills the bus. Phew, that was too close for comfort, Arnold murmurs, pushing his glasses up the bridge of his nose. Yet it was also a reminder, I say, pivoting towards the class. These predators are crucial to the ocean's balance. They deserve our protection just as much as any other species. Right on, Phoebe, Ralphie agrees, admiration clear in his tone. We continue our journey, passing through a kelp forest where sunlight barely reaches. The seaweed sways gently, an underwater ballet performed by unseen currents. Schools of tiny fish weave through the fronds, their silver scales reflecting what little light filters down. Look at those sea urchins and starfish, Dorothy Ann observes, her voice filled with wonder. They're part of a complex network. Everything is connected. Exactly, I echo. Every creature plays a role. It's a delicate system. Delicate but resilient, Ms. Frizzle adds, guiding the bus through the tranquil scene. As our exploration draws to a close, the weight of our responsibility settles over me. We've seen so much beauty, felt the thrumming life of this underwater world. It's more than a field trip, it's a call to action. Time to head back up, Ms. Frizzle announces, and the bus begins its ascent. We rise through layers of blue, each lighter than the last until the sun's rays welcome us back to the surface. The transition from the deep sea's embrace to the familiar interior of the bus is jarring, leaving us with a sense of longing intertwined with hope. Wow, I'll never forget this, Arnold says, awe evident in his voice. Neither will I reply, gazing at the waves lapping against the windows. There's so much to do, to protect all we've seen. Next stop, conservation. Carlos chimes in, and we all nod, united in purpose. Until our next adventure, Ms. Frizzle winks, and the magic school bus shuttles us back to school, our minds brimming with ideas and hearts committed to the cause. Chapter 8. I shuffle up to the gleaming magic school bus, my sneakers scuffing the pavement. Around me, the class buzzes with anticipation, a hive of excited chatter and bouncing backpacks. Ms. Frizzle, as bright as a comet in her atom-themed dress, claps her hands together. Welcome aboard, explorers. Her voice is a melody of adventure. Today, we'll journey where no classroom has gone before, into the heart of the molecular world. Her words spark a current of energy through the group, and I can't help but catch the wave. The bus hums, its frame shimmering like a mirage. We scramble inside, our collective gasp filling the air as we shrink, atoms ballooning into colossal orbs around us. Behold, Ms. Frizzle exclaims, gesturing grandly, the building blocks of existence. I press my nose against the window, eyes wide at the spinning electrons. They're a blur of color and light, dancing with a rhythm that resonates deep within my chest. Each one of these atoms joins to form compounds, the very essence of all matter, she continues, pointing out structures that seem almost alive. Is that photosynthesis happening? I ask, timid but intrigued. Exactly, Arnold. Ms. Frizzle beams at me. The alchemy of nature, converting sunlight into energy. The dance unfolds before us, mesmerizing. Light particles collide with leaves, sparking a cascade of reactions. My notebook is suddenly in my hand, ink flowing across paper as I scribble furiously, capturing the wonder. Energy transfer, oxygen release. I mutter to myself, each word a revelation. Keep going, Arnold. You're witnessing the breath of life itself. Ms. Frizzle encourages. I've never felt so small, yet so connected to the intricate web of life. This is science, not just facts and figures, but a pulsating universe of mysteries waiting to be unraveled. And for the first time, I'm not just watching, I'm part of it. The magic school bus weaves through the atomic maze, a whirlwind of motion and wonder. Electrons zip past in a frenetic ballet, and I can't help but laugh when Carlos quips beside me. Talk about electron chaos. If my room was this messy, my mom would ground me for a week. His joke earns a ripple of laughter from the class, lightening the palpable tension from our awestruck silence. Even Ms. Frizzle chuckles, her eyes twinkling behind those science-themed spectacles. Carlos, you have a positive way of looking at things, she says, joining in on the puns, which only encourages him more. I glance over at Keisha, who's furiously jotting down notes, her brow furrowed in concentration. Her pen darts across the page like one of the electrons around us, capturing every detail. She pauses to push up her glasses before scribbling another observation. Did you see that? The way that molecule bonded totally textbook, she murmurs, more to herself than anyone else, but I nod in agreement, impressed by her focus. Keisha, Your notes are going to be as complex as these compounds, I say, trying to match Carla's Euro trademark's levity. Only because the subject matter is fascinating, she replies without missing a beat, her eyes never leaving her pad. Outside, an atom's nucleus looms large, a sun at the center of its own tiny solar system. We're caught in its gravity, every proton and neutron a planet in orbit. Phoebe presses her face to the glass, her expression one of reverence. Can you imagine? This tiny atom is part of something much bigger, like a tree that gives us oxygen or the food we eat, she whispers, almost breathless with the enormity of it all. Everything is connected, Ms. Frizzle agrees, nodding at Phoebe's insight. From the air we breathe to the conservation of our planet. Like a giant jigsaw puzzle, Phoebe muses, her voice tinged with determination. And we need to make sure all the pieces fit. Indeed, Ms. Frizzle says, driving home the lesson. Dorothy Ann raises her hand, her eyes alight with questions. Ms. Frizzle, how does this molecular dance affect bigger environmental processes? An excellent question, she responds, encouraging Dorothy Ann's curiosity. It's all about the exchange of energy and matter. What we see here on the molecular level has a profound impact on our entire ecosystem. Wow, so every little action has a reaction, no matter the size, Dorothy Ann notes, her words sparking a deeper understanding among us all. Exactly, D.A. Ms. Frizzle exclaims. Every atom plays a role in the grand scheme of things. As we continue our journey through the vibrant energy of the microscopic realm, I feel my own perspective shift. These aren't just diagrams in a textbook, they're the very essence of life, beautiful and complex. And as we float amidst the ceaseless flurry of atoms, I realize we've glimpsed a hidden world that holds the secrets to the universe. The hum of the magic school bus fades as we return to our familiar size, the once gargantuan blades of grass now gently brushing against the vehicle's undercarriage. I step out, the solace of my sneakers meeting the solid ground with a soft thud. The air feels different, a euro thicker, somehow a euro as if I'm more aware of each molecule that makes up the breeze brushing my cheeks. Whoa, I hear Ralphie exhale, his voice tinged with a mix of relief and awe. That was unreal. Ms. Frizzle beams at us, her wild, curly red hair seeming to match the energy that zips through us all. Quite real, Ralphie. Just a different scale of reality. And you've all been excellent navigators of the molecular world. Arnold adjusts his glasses, peering around with wide eyes. It's like we were part of it all, not just learning about it. It changes everything. Changes how we see things, for sure, Carlos chimes in, grinning as he playfully nudges Arnold. Who knew atoms could be so atomazing? A collective groan rises from the group, but it's light-hearted, and even Keisha cracks a smile, her notebook clutched tightly as if holding the secrets of the universe we've just witnessed. Your puns are a fundamental part of this class, Carlos, Ms. Frizzle winks, eliciting a few chuckles. Phoebe, looking thoughtful, ties her ponytail tighter. We need to remember this. How everything's connected. It's not just science, a euro, it's our future, too. Exactly, says Dorothy Ann, pushing her glasses up the bridge of her nose with a purposeful finger. What we do affects everything else. It's all one big cycle. Like the water cycle. Wanda interjects, her eyebrows raised expectantly. Even beyond that, Ms. Frizzle agrees, nodding. Think of it as an endless loop of action and reaction, on every scale. I feel a shiver run down my spine, the significance of our journey settling in. We're not just kids on a bus, we're part of something bigger, something infinite. Okay, everyone, Ms. Frizzle says, clapping her hands together. Let's take these lessons and apply them. Who knows where our next adventure will lead? As the bus door closes behind us, I can't help but feel a surge of anticipation. If today was any indication, the possibilities are as boundless as the universe itself. With a heart full of curiosity and a mind brimming with questions, I'm ready for whatever comes next. Chapter 9. The classroom buzzes like a beehive as we cluster around a long table, our arms laden with the fruits of our field trips. I adjust my glasses and scan the array of vials, photographs, and notes we've spread out before USA Euro, a patchwork of discovery waiting to be stitched into something grand. All right, class, Ms. Frizzle's voice dances through the air, lifting the energy in the room. Let's transform these individual wonders into a collective masterpiece for the science fair. Her red curls bounce with each enthusiastic gesture, and I can't help but catch her excitement like a contagious smile. We lean in closer, our heads almost touching as we crowd around a table filled with our findings. Maybe we should start with the biological stuff, I suggest, my voice quieter than I intend. I push a box of slides toward the center. We learned so much about the human body it could really anchor our project. Keisha nods, her eyes lighting up with approval. She picks up a slide, holding it up to the light. I love that idea, Arnold. We could do a visual display. Her hands move with precision, arranging the samples in a neat row. Each system of the body represented, right down to the cells. Exactly, I say, emboldened by her enthusiasm. I feel my cautious nature slipping away, replaced by the thrill of creation. We have the images from when we traveled through the bloodstream those would be perfect. She grins at me, and together we begin to conceptualize the display, imagining how the veins and arteries might branch across our board, how the heart would beat at the center of it all. Think of the impact, Ms. Frizzle chimes in, her bright eyes reflecting our growing vision. The story of life, told from the inside out. Our classmates gather around, pitching in with ideas, and the scene before us begins to blur into a whirlwind of collaboration. We're no longer just students, we're explorers piecing together a map of the human frontier, ready to guide others through the terrain we've traversed. And as our plans take shape, I can't shake the feeling that we're on the brink of something truly amazing. All right, team, I think it's time we shake things up a bit with our project, Carlos announces, his voice bubbling with enthusiasm as he strides towards the center of the room. His hands dance through the air, mimicking the swirl of a storm as he speaks. Let's dive into the meteorological data next. It's a total 180 from biology and we'll add that wow factor we're looking for. I nod, intrigued by the shift. The idea of blending the wonder of the human body with the unpredictability of weather sparks a creative surge within me. Carlos's shirt, as vibrant as his ideas, seems to reflect the colorful possibilities of what we could achieve. Imagine this, Dorothy Ann says, adjusting her glasses with a purposeful touch. She leans over the table, her eyes scanning the data printouts like a commander surveying a battlefield. An interactive weather station display where visitors can play with elements change the temperature, humidity, wind speed and watch how it affects weather patterns. Like they're controlling their own little storm, I muse aloud, impressed by the depth of her vision. Exactly. Dorothy Ann's face lights up, clearly excited by the concept. Her precise manner lends gravitas to even the wildest of our ideas. Speaking of wild, Wanda interjects, her confident voice cutting through the chatter. She carefully lifts a jagged rock sample, turning it in her hands as if unveiling a hidden gem. How about we hit them with geology next? These samples aren't just rocks, they're stories. Stories etched in time, I echo, feeling the weight of history in her words. We gather around her, drawn in by the passion in her eyes. Check this out, Ralphie chimes in, holding up a cross-section of sedimentary layers. We build a mini-Earth, layer by layer, showcasing these bad boys. He points to the array of collected rocks and minerals splayed across the table. And we put the core samples on display right alongside it. Like a journey to the center of the Earth, I say, smiling at the thought. Ralphie's suggestion paints a picture of exploration and discovery, a tactile adventure beckoning from beneath our feet. Exactly. A visual trip through the planet's autobiography, Wanda agrees, her hands gesturing dramatically as she outlines the proposed model. The energy in the room is palpable, each idea igniting the next. I watch my classmates, inspired by their drive and creativity, and feel a sense of pride swelling within me. We're more than just students, we're creators, shaping knowledge into an experience for all to share. As the geological fervor settles, Phoebe's voice breaks through the chatter like a beacon. We can't overlook the stars, she urges, her green eyes twinkling with the reflection of distant galaxies we've charted. They tell a tale of cosmic wonder that could really elevate our project. I nod, my thoughts already orbiting her idea. What if we build an immersive multimedia display? I suggest. The room falls into a brief silence as they consider it. Showcasing galaxies, nebulae, the life cycles of stars. My hands arc through the air, tracing the swirl of imagined constellations. It'd be like navigating through space itself. Imagine, Phoebe adds, a section dedicated to ocean exploration too. She paints the picture of marine biodiversity with her words, a vivid tapestry of life beneath the waves. We must highlight the crucial need for conservation. An interactive display on the effects of pollution and overfishing could really drive the message home. Interactive, Ralphie echoes, his enthusiasm bubbling up. Let them dive into the data, feel the ripple effect of their choices in real time. Agreed, says Keisha, her voice steady with conviction. It's not just about seeing it, it's about understanding our part in this vast ecosystem. From the expanse of space to the depths of our oceans, muses De, her gaze lingering on our collection of samples and data. A brilliant juxtaposition. Speaking of depth, Dorothy Ann chimes in, redirecting our attention. We dove into the molecular world too, remember? The group huddles closer, hanging on her every word. Photosynthesis, she continues, the molecular dance of life, a visual spectacle we can recreate. Her fingers sketch invisible structures in the air, evoking the intricate choreography of atoms and energy we witnessed. Cellular level storytelling, I muse aloud, picturing the vibrant ebb and flow of microscopic processes. Exactly. Da's excitement is palpable. We'll juxtapose the enormity of space with the intimacy of molecules. Show the beauty of complexity and simplicity entwined. Bring the invisible into view, says Wanda, her eyes alight with possibility. Our collective imagination takes flight, weaving science and spectacle into a tapestry of learning and awe. We're no longer simply students, we're explorers, ready to share the universe's secrets with anyone who dares to look closer. Chapter 10. The hum of excited voices surrounds me as we huddle around our project, the centerpiece of weeks of hard work. Keisha flips through her meticulously organized binder, and Carlos fiddles with the model we've constructed. The science fair deadline looms like a shadow over us, but our spirits are high. Until, that is, we hit our first snag, the projector, our gateway to showcasing our multimedia presentation, blinks out its refusal to cooperate. Okay, don't panic, I say, pushing up my glasses. Let's check the connections first. My fingers move methodically across the tangle of wires at the back of the machine, seeking out loose ends and potential culprits behind the blackout. Arnold's got it under control, Carlos chimes in with his usual grin, though his eyes betray a trace of concern. He squats beside me, his hands ready to dive in and assist. We exchange a nod, and together, we troubleshoot the issue, unplugging and replacing cables with the hope that one of them will breathe life back into the stubborn equipment. Across the room, Keisha and Dorothy Ann aren't wasting any time. They're already mapping out alternative ways to present our findings. We could make a physical model to demonstrate the concept, Dorothy Ann suggests, her voice tinged with the unmistakable edge of urgency. Or maybe an interactive handout, Keisha adds, tapping her chin thoughtfully. Something they can touch and feel to understand the data. Their brainstorming session, a flurry of rapid-fire ideas, is a quiet backdrop to the growing tension elsewhere. Wanda, ever the dynamo, gestures broadly as she argues for a more dramatic, risk-taking element in our project. Phoebe, on the other hand, insists on a message rooted deeply in environmental responsibility. Their voices escalate, each trying to drown out the other's point. "Guys, please." I call out without looking up from the projector, my plea for peace drowned by the clash of their convictions. Science isn't just about flashiness, Wanda. It's about impact. Phoebe's green eyes blaze with passion, mirroring the intensity of her words. "Sure, but we won't make any impact if we don't grab their attention." Wanda fires back, her hands on her hips in defiance. I exchange a worried glance with Carlos, who raises an eyebrow and shrugs, his humor momentarily lost in the face of discord. Meanwhile, Keisha and Dorothy pause, their own discussion halted by the brewing storm between our friends. "Come on, let's figure this out together," I urge, hoping my voice doesn't shake too much. The last thing we need is to fall apart now, with the finish line in sight. I tighten a final cable and cross my fingers, whispering a silent plea to the universe. With a flicker and a promising whir, the projector springs to life, casting a wash of blue light against the blank screen. A collective sigh of relief escapes us, and even Wanda and Phoebe's argument simmers down, their frustrations momentarily forgotten in the face of this small victory. "Teamwork," I mutter under my breath, a smile ghosting across my lips. "Maybe, just maybe, we'll pull this off after all." The air crackles with tension, each of us holding our breath as if that alone could mend the rift between Wanda and Phoebe. Then, like a bolt of lightning in a brewing storm, Ms. Frizzle's voice cuts through the static. "Let's take 5, everyone." Her curly red mane seems to bounce with each word. Remember, friction creates heat, but cooperation lights the way. I can't help but smile at her knack for turning any situation into a learning moment. We all scatter like leaves in the wind, seeking solace in the brief respite. I plop down on a nearby stool, the cool metal a sharp contrast to my warm palms. It's Ralphie who breaks the spell. He bounds over with the energy of a halftime pep talk. "Guys, what about the AV room on the 3rd floor? Their projector is top-notch." "Ralphie, you're a genius," Carlos exclaims, clapping him on the back. His easy grin returns, and it's like a shot of adrenaline to our weary spirits. We spring into action, gathering stacks of notes and tangled cords. The weight of our materials feels lighter somehow, buoyed by newfound hope. We hustle through the hallways, sneakers squeaking against the linoleum, until we burst into the new room. Touchdown! Ralphie cheers as the projector hums to life, bathing the wall with its luminescent glow. A collective sigh ripples through us. But just as quickly, a new shadow falls over our relief. "Wait, where's the file with the biosamples data?" Dorothy Ann's voice is edged with panic. "Check your drives," I say, rifling through my backpack. A mess of files stares back at me, none of them the right one. "Nothing here." Keisha's frown mirrors my own. "Everyone, retrace your steps," Carlos takes charge, his voice firm yet calm. "Think back to when you last saw it. Back to the lab." Arnold suggests, already heading for the door. "Let's split up. We'll cover more ground that way," Carlos says, ushering us out. Our group divides, a hive mind set on a singular goal: find the missing piece of our puzzle. I pair up with Arnold, our eyes scanning the screen of my laptop as we flick through files and folders. Each click is a drum beat in the tense silence that hangs over us. Next to us, Wanda and Phoebe huddle around a stack of USB drives, their previous disagreement forgotten in the face of this new crisis. "Check the folder from the last field trip," Arnold suggests, pushing his glasses up his nose as he leans closer to the screen. "Already did," I reply, the cursor hovering over yet another directory labeled experiments. My heart sinks a little more with each negative result. The data has to be here somewhere. Every observation, every measurement, meticulously recorded by my own hand. Wait, what about that one? Dorothy N points at an obscurely named folder, tucked away between two heavily documented projects. Good eye, I murmur, double-clicking it. Inside is chaos, a mishmash of documents and images that don't belong together. But then, there it is, nestled amidst the disorder, a file named biodata_final. Relief washes over me, warm and soothing. Found it? I shout, and the room erupts into cheers. The once lost lifeline of our project is now a beacon of hope. We regroup swiftly, gathering around the projector once more, the air buzzing with renewed determination. Let's get back to it, Carlos says, rolling up his sleeves. We're not letting any more setbacks stop us. Right, I agree, plugging in my laptop to the projector. The familiar layout of our presentation splashes across the wall, but it's jumpy, the transitions out of sync. Audio's lagging, Ralphie notes, fiddling with the speaker cables. I nod, clicking through the settings, seeking the culprit behind the glitch. Try disabling the enhancements, Keisha suggests, her voice steady as always. Her hands fly over the keyboard, deft and assured. She knows her way around these machines as well as she does her lab equipment. Got it? With a few more adjustments, the audio falls into place, crisp and clear. We exchange grins, each small victory cementing our confidence. Next slide, prompts Wanda, signaling for me to move forward. I hit the keys, but the image distorts, stretching unnaturally on the screen. Aspect ratio's off, Keisha observes, already navigating to the right menu to fix it. With a few clicks, the image snaps back to its proper dimensions. Anything else? Carlos asks, surveying the room. One by one, we shake our heads. It's looking good, no, it's looking great. Then let's run through it again, I say, stepping back to let Keisha take control. From the top. As we work through the night, refining and perfecting, the sense of unity among us is palpable. We're a team, each of us vital to the whole. And when we finally call it a night, our project stands as a testament to our hard work and collaboration. Guys, this is going to knock their socks off at the fair, Keisha says, her eyes shining with pride and excitement. Definitely, I agree, feeling the fatigue ebb away, replaced by a wave of accomplishment and optimism. We're ready for tomorrow. We're more than ready, we're frizzle ready. Chapter 11. As my pencil sketches another line across the blueprint, I can't help but let my thoughts wander to the experiences that ignited this fire within me for science and our precious planet. My hand pauses, the memory as vivid as if I were back on that camping trip with my family, the one where I conquered more than just a mountain trail. I remember staring up at that towering tree, the challenge it whispered with every rustled leaf. You can do this, Arnold, my dad had said, his voice a calm anchor against the storm of my fears. With trembling hands, I reached for the rough bark, each upward movement a silent battle between my will and the dizzying height. The higher I climbed, the louder my heart thudded, until I was there, perched at the top, the world stretching out beneath me. I did it. I actually did it. The rush of adrenaline surged through me, sweet and victorious, and in that moment, I knew I could overcome anything. Hey, Arnold, remember when you climbed that monster of a tree? Carlos's voice snaps me back to the present, his laughter as warm and inviting as a summer's day. Monster is a bit of an exaggeration, I reply, pushing my glasses up the bridge of my nose. But yes, quite unforgettable. Carlos leans back in his chair, and I see him lost in his own flashback, a smile spreading across his face like sunlight chasing shadows away. He's back at his grandfather's farm, the joy of simpler times shining in his eyes. I can almost hear the clucking of chickens as he recounts dodging and weaving, trying to catch them, his chuckles punctuating the memory. And the smell of fresh hay, he sighs contentedly, nothing beats that. Or the applause after nailing your science fair presentation, Keisha interjects from across the table, her voice tinged with pride and nostalgia. Her eyes glint with the same spark I saw the day she stood before us all, explaining how harnessing wind and sun could power the future. The audience had been captivated, their claps echoing in the gymnasium long after she finished speaking. I remember watching her parents beaming at her, and her teachers nodding in approval, their encouragement blooming in her like a rare desert flower after rain. Those moments, they shape us, Keisha adds, returning her focus to the project in front of us. Exactly, I affirm, picking up my pencil once more. They're the reason we're here now, working together to make a difference. Speaking of making a difference, Carlos says, tapping his paper, we've got a science fair to win. Let's get back to it. Right behind you, Keisha says, her determination fueling her meticulous work. And just like that, we're grounded in the present again, our shared past propelling us forward, toward a future we're eager to shape with our own hands. My heart races, the memory vivid as if it's happening now. I'm strapped into the seat of the Titan Thunder, a roller coaster that towers above everything. You ready, Ralphie? My friend yells over the mechanical clanking of the ascending coaster. My knuckles are white, gripping the safety bar, and I manage a shaky nod. Then we're there, teetering on the precipice before plummeting down. The wind screams in my ears, my stomach does somersaults, and my eyes are wide with exhilaration. At the bottom, when the world is right side up again, laughter bubbles out uncontrollably. We exchange high fives, the thrill of survival bonding us. Sounds terrifying, and amazing, Dorothy Ann muses, her voice pulling me back momentarily. Wait till you hear about your waterfall, I reply with a grin. Her gaze turns inward and she smiles. I stood at the edge of Earth's raw power, the great falls thundering before me. The mist was this gentle touch against my skin, like the earth itself reaching out. The roar filled every space around us, a sound so pure no science could ever truly explain it. Nature's own symphony, I say, impressed despite myself. Exactly, she beams, then her eyes lock with mine. Remember what we're working for. Every second, I assure her, our pact silently reaffirmed. Phoebe leans in, excitement lighting up her face. I'll never forget that beach cleanup last summer. Gloves on, I picked up trash piece by piece, the conviction in each movement. The shore transformed from a wasteland to pristine sands. We saved a tiny part of our planet that day. Must have felt good, I acknowledge, thinking how every action counts. More than good. Right, Phoebe corrects me, and I nod, understanding her need to make a difference. Wanda's chuckling to herself now, lost in her own recollection. The fire danced that night, alive and crackling. We were all huddled around it, roasting marshmallows, our faces glowing orange. And the stories, oh, the stories we shared. Sounds cozy, I say, remembering how comforting the flicker of flames can be. Cozy and wild, she adds, eyes sparkling. We were adventurers in an uncharted land. Hey, remember when Arnold climbed that tree? I ask, recalling Carlos's supportive shouts from below. You were rooting for him the whole way. Couldn't let him think he was alone up there, Carlos says, chuckling. Turns out he wasn't scared of heights, just needed a push. Like Keisha at the science fair, Dorothy Ann pipes up. We all knew she'd blow everyone away with her renewable energy project. Needed that push too, Keisha admits, smiling at Dorothy Ann. We gather closer, our shared memories weaving an invisible thread through us all. Each story, each moment has built a foundation for what we do today. Our commitment to science, to the Planeta Euro, it's more than just a project. It's our future, our responsibility. Let's make an impact, I say, fired up by the road we've traveled together. An extraordinary one, Keisha agrees, her eyes blazing with purpose. Extraordinary, we echo, the word a promise, a mission. We're ready for the challenge, together. I glance around the cluttered workspace, catching sight of furrowed brows and determined eyes. Pencils scratch rhythmically on paper, the sound mingling with the soft hum of whispered calculations and fervent brainstorming. Our hands move with purpose, assembling, adjusting, perfecting. Less than an hour to go, I murmur, my voice barely rising above the concentrated silence. Got it, Ralphie responds from across the table, his fingers deftly twisting wires together. The urgency is palpable, a current that courses through us all, driving our motions and sharpening our focus. Keisha leans over her diagrams, double-checking measurements and nodding with satisfaction. This will work, she assures us, her voice tinged with the excitement of innovation. Remember, angles are key, Ms. Frizzle chimes in, her wild curls bouncing as she moves from one workstation to the next. Her dress, adorned with images of galaxies and nebulas, seems to capture the boundless energy she radiates. You've got this, she adds, offering a wink and a thumbs up to Keisha. Thanks, Ms. Frizzle, Keisha smiles back, her confidence bolstered by the encouragement. Phoebe, how's the visual presentation coming along? Ms. Frizzle asks, peering over Phoebe's shoulder at the computer screen aglow with colorful graphics and data. Almost finished, Phoebe replies, her fingers flying over the keyboard. Just adding the last touches. Make sure it's as clear as your commitment to clean beaches, Ms. Frizzle advises with a grin. Phoebe grins back, nodding enthusiastically. Carlos, those circuit boards look impeccable, Ms. Frizzle observes, moving to where Carlos hovers over a complex electronic layout. Precision is key, right? Carlos says with a chuckle, soldering iron in hand. Exactly. Ms. Frizzle's eyes twinkle with pride. Every detail matters. Wanda passes me a stack of neatly organized papers, her contribution to our collective effort. All set for the written report, she declares. Great teamwork, I acknowledge, leaping through the pages to place them in the presentation binder. Down to the wire, team, Ms. Frizzle calls out, her voice steady but infused with excitement. Let's bring this home. Home sounds good. It sounds like victory, like something we're about to grasp. We exchange glances, each of us feeding off the other's resolve. Let's show them what we're made of, Dorothy Ann says, her gaze fixed on the nearly completed project that sprawls in front of us. Made of stars, science, and a bit of Frizzle magic, I add, eliciting a round of knowing laughter. Magic fueled by hard work, Ms. Frizzle corrects playfully, her eyes sweeping over our creation. You're ready to shine. As we put the final touches on our project, a buzz of anticipation fills the air. My heart beats faster, not just with nerves, but with the thrill of unveiling our hard work. We stand back, admiring the fruit of our labor, our extraordinary science fair presentation. It's more than just a project, it's a testament to our journey, our passion, and the impact we dream of making. Ready, team? I ask, already knowing the answer. Ready, they echo, voices harmonizing with hope and excitement for the future. Chapter 12. The scent of solder and whiteboard markers hangs heavy in the air, and every surface of the science lab is cluttered with the guts of our projecta Euro wires, charts, half-assembled prototypes. I barely dodge a foam planet swinging from the ceiling as Ms. Frizzle bursts into the room, her dress patterned with swirling galaxies today. Her curls seem to crackle with their own static energy. Okay, class, we're down to the wire, she announces, her voice a melodic urgency that grips everyone's attention. The science fair is just days away. We scatter like charged particles, each finding our niche within the chaos. Arnold sidles up beside me, his glasses slipping down his nose as he clutches cables and adapters for the multimedia presentation we've been working on. His meticulous nature is a perfect match for the tangle of technology before us. Let's get these screens connected, I say, flashing him an encouraging smile. We dive into the nest of wires, my hands deftly following the color-coded system we devised. Arnold double-checks every connection I make, murmuring softly, "Better safe than sorry." Across the room, Keisha and Dorothy Ann are the picture of concentration. Papers rustle as they flip through pages of research, their heads bent together in serious discussion. Keisha's voice cuts through the hum of activity, clear and assertive. "This section on quantum entanglement goes first. It's the hook." Dorothy Ann nods, pushing her glasses up her nose. "Agreed. And we'll need to simplify the language for clarity." Their pens scratch against paper, transforming complex data into digestible bytes. Meanwhile, Wanda and Phoebe weave art into science, their hands dancing over poster boards. Infographics bloom under their brushes, bold colors and sharp lines capturing the essence of our project. "What do you think of this font, Phoebe?" Wanda holds up a stencil, her eyes sparkling with creative fire. "Make it bigger," Phoebe responds without missing a beat, tapping a green marker to her chin. "We want our message to resonate, not just inform." I can't help but grin at the sight. All of us, a team, each playing our part, with Ralphie pacing among the groups like a conductor leading an orchestra. He checks in with everyone, his clipboard in hand, ticking off tasks one by one. "Great work, team," he calls out. "Let's keep this momentum going. Carlos, try the projector now." Arnold's voice pulls me back, and I hit the power switch. A satisfying click, a whir of fans, and our presentation lights up the voila, a constellation of facts and figures. We exchange a triumphant look. "Nice," I quip, and Arnold's relieved chuckle tells me he's finally starting to share my confidence. Together, we're more than ready. We're Frizzle ready. "Ms. Frizzle, the projector's on the fritz again." I call out, my voice echoing slightly in the hustle of the science lab. From across the room, she zips over to us like a comet streaking through space, her dress patterned with atoms that seem to buzz with energy. "Let's have a look-see," she says, peering at the tangle of wires and blinking indicators. Her fingers dance over the cables, unafraid of the technological jungle. "Remember, every problem is just a solution in disguise." Arnold and I exchange glances, his eyebrows knotted in concern. He fiddles with the audio jack as I reboot the system. A spark of life flickers from the projector, a beam of light cutting through the dimness of the lab. "Got it?" I exclaim, and Arnold gives a thumbs up as the sound crackles back to life. Teamwork triumphs. Ms. Frizzle cheers, her eyes twinkling with pride. But our celebration is short-lived. A glance at the clock sends a jolt of panic through me. We're running out of time, and there's still so much left to do. The unfinished sections of our presentation loom over us like a gathering storm. "Okay, everyone, let's prioritize." Ralphie commands, his voice cutting through the noise. "Keisha, Dorothy Ann, focus on the essentials. Wanda, Phoebe, simplify those visuals. We can do this." "Trim the fat, keep the meat," Keisha murmurs, pen flying over paper, slashing sentences and streamlining paragraphs. The posters are now a blur of motion as Wanda and Phoebe make bold, decisive strokes, paring down to the most impactful images. "Circle up, team." Ms. Frizzle gathers us, her magnetic presence pulling our attention from the chaos. We're in the home stretch, and it's all hands on deck. Remember, collaboration is the heart of discovery. "Right," we chorus, the fire of determination kindling within us. The night deepens, but the lab is alive with our fervent efforts. We rehearse lines, tweak slides, and adjust lights until everything clicks into place. It's as if the fair itself has come to us, demanding perfection, and we rise to meet it. "Look at what we've accomplished," Ms. Frizzle says softly, standing beside me as we gaze upon our completed project. The charts gleam under the fluorescent lights, the prototypes stand ready for demonstration, and our presentation is polished to a shine. I swallow the lump in my throat, feeling the weight of anticipation. We poured our hearts into this project, each of us leaving a piece of ourselves within its framework. And tomorrow, the world will see the fruits of our labor. Tomorrow, we show them what we're made of, I say, a smile breaking across my face. Exactly, Ms. Frizzle agrees, her voice brimming with excitement. And no matter what happens, remember that you've already achieved something remarkable. The lab is quiet now, save for the soft hum of equipment cooling down. We stand together, a band of explorers on the cusp of a new frontier, ready to unveil our discoveries. It's exhilarating, terrifying, and utterly magnificent. Let's make some waves at the science fair, I whisper, and the echo of our collective dreams fills the room, promising a tomorrow filled with endless possibilities. Chapter 13. The hum of the science fair venue buzzes in my ears as we step through the double doors, a symphony of innovation and intellect unfolding before us. I can't help but widen my eyes, taking in the vibrant energy, the rows upon rows of booths each vying for attention with bright displays and eager faces. Over there, Keisha points, her voice cutting through the clamor with precision. We navigate the maze of tables and banners, a collective unit moving with purpose. Our booth, a canvas waiting to be painted with our months of dedication, beckons us forward. Let's get this set up, Carlos says, rolling out a poster with a pop of color that makes the surrounding projects look dull by comparison. The scent of vinyl and fresh ink fills the air as we smooth out the creases together. Ralphie assembles the interactive screens with quick, efficient motions, his enthusiasm palpable in every snap and click of the framework. Careful with the hologram projector, I remind Arnold, who's handling it like a precious artifact from another planet. His round glasses catch the light as he nods, his movements meticulous. Is everything aligned properly? Keisha asks, scanning the setup with her critical eye. Looks perfect from here, I affirm, stepping back to take it all in. A mix of nerves and excitement knots in my stomach, an electric current charging through me. Here goes nothing, I murmur, and with a shared glance at my teammates, I press the button that brings our project to life. Instantly, the booth transforms. Holographic projections dance in the air above us, images from our adventures rendered in stunning three-dimensionality. Interactive screens flicker on, inviting attendees to delve into our findings, while audiovisual elements weave a story of discovery around us. Wow, check this out, a voice calls from the gathering crowd, and I turn to see Ms. Frizzle bouncing over, her dress a kaleidoscope of scientific motifs. Isn't it something? I say, pride swelling in my chest. Absolutely out of this world, she exclaims, her curls bouncing with every enthusiastic nod. How did you manage to integrate all these different fields? Carlos steps forward, his grin infectious. It was an adventure, Ms. Frizzle. We traveled through cells, soared across galaxies, and dived into ocean Sayuro, each discovery a piece of the puzzle. Every data point is interconnected, illustrating the harmony of our universe, Keisha adds, tapping on a screen to pull up a graph that merges biological trends with meteorological patterns. Like how weather patterns affect marine life, I chime in, gesturing toward a display where digital fish swim beneath animated storm clouds. Or how geological shifts can influence astronomical observations, Arnold contributes, his voice steady as he highlights a chart of star movements altered by tectonic activity. We stand proudly beside our creation, a beacon of youthful ingenuity amidst a sea of talent. Judges and attendees alike approach, drawn by the vibrancy of our booth, and one by one, we guide them through our journey of discovery. Your project is remarkable, one judge says, her eyes reflecting the shimmering lights of our presentation. You've woven together a tapestry of science. Thank you, we respond in unison, a team united by curiosity and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. Here, in this moment, we are more than students, we are explorers sharing a vision of a world without limits. A microscopic cell envelopes the screen, its nucleus pulsing with life. This, I say, gesturing to the vivid display, is where our journey began. The crowd leans in as I narrate the voyage through the human body, the images zooming out to reveal the interconnectedness of each system. Imagine, Carlos interjects, his voice light but earnest, the same principles that govern the tiniest cells also apply to the stars. His hands dance through the holographic constellations overhead, drawing a path from Orion's belt to the edges of the observable universe. Keisha clicks to the next slide, and an oceanic trench unfurls before us, luminescent creatures gliding through the dark waters. The depths of the sea hold secrets to life's resilience, she explains, her tone imbued with reverence for the marine mysteries she unveils. Each atom, each creature, tells a story, Phoebe adds, her commitment to the environment resonating in her words. She points to a simulation of atoms bonding, their dance crafting the very molecules of existence. The judges scrutinize our work, their expressions unreadable. But the attendees, their gasps and murmurs fill the air, a symphony of astonishment and appreciation. It's electric, this feeling of awe that crackles around us. Your dedication is clear, a judge finally says, her voice cutting through the buzz. We exchange glances, victory swelling in our chests. We've done it. We've shown them the wonders we've seen, the lessons we've learned. Hours slip by, the fair a blur of excitement and sharing. Ralphie recounts tales of athletic prowess in field research, while Dorothy Ann engages in deep discussions on the theoretical implications of our findings. Wanda, ever the bold one, challenges visitors to think outside the box, to dare as we dared. And then, the moment of truth. Our hearts pound in unison, a drumbeat of anticipation. Ms. Frizzle stands beside us, her eyes twinkling with pride. No matter the verdict, we've traveled beyond the classroom, beyond what we thought possible. We've transcended. Win or lose, Arnold murmurs, his cautious optimism a balm to the tension, we've already triumphed. The announcement comes a rush of clapping, a shower of congratulations. We've won, not just the fair, but something greater, the knowledge that our journey together is only beginning. And so we celebrate, arms around each other, faces alight with joy and the thirst for more adventures. Ready for the next challenge? Ms. Frizzle asks, her wild curls bouncing with each nod we give. Oh yes, we're ready a for whatever lies ahead. Chapter 14. I shuffle my feet, trying to steady the thumping in my chest as we wait for the verdict. Beside me, our science fair projector a miniature ecosystem that replicates Earth's biomes with uncanny precision stands as a testament to weeks of sleepless nights and relentless dedication. Remember, no matter what happens, you're all superstars in the galaxy of science, Ms. Frizzle whispers, her red curls bouncing with each syllable like tiny springs. Her dress, adorned with images of galaxies and nebulas, seems to shimmer with its own cosmos of colors, reflecting her ever-sparkling eyes. The judges draw near, their expressions inscrutable, clipboards clutched like shields. They pore over our project, and I catch glimpses of their wide eyes and raised eyebrows. Our creation, this intricate dance of flora and fauna under a dome of handcrafted stars, appears to beckon to their inner explorers. Quite an impressive setup, one judge murmurs, jotting down notes that might as well be written in ancient hieroglyphs for all I can decipher from my anxious vantage point. Is it too much? I whisper to the classmate next to me, my voice barely audible over the drumming of my own heart. Ms. Frizzle catches my eye, shooting me a grin that's both comforting and conspiratorial. Trust the process, my young scientist. The adventure you've embarked on is just as extraordinary as this final display. Did you see the way they interacted with the climate controls? Another judge asks his peers, pointing at the delicate sensors we rigged to monitor and adjust environmental conditions. Indeed, replies a stern-faced woman with sharp glasses, and the use of recycled materials is quite innovative. For a moment, the tension lifts, and pride swells within me. We've done more than just build a project, we've crafted an experience, a journey through ecosystems powered by youthful ingenuity. Your hypothesis was ambitious, a judge says, turning towards us with a thoughtful tilt of his head. But it seems you've managed to bring it to life. Life, Ms. Frizzle echoes, her voice brimming with the magic of discovery, is the greatest experiment of all. And you've all shown how brightly the flame of curiosity burns within you. We exchange hopeful smiles, allowing ourselves to believe, even if just for a fleeting moment, that our hard work has truly paid off. The judge's murmurs ebb and flow around us like a tide of possibility. I can't help but catch phrases, remarkable precision and advanced concept, that sent jolts of hope through my veins. Beside me, my classmates shuffle their feet, eyes darting between each other and the panel before us. Look at how they've engineered the power supply, one judge says to another, tapping the blueprint we spent weeks refining. A buzz passes through our group, a silent cheer for the sleepless nights soldering circuits and coding software. Ms. Frizzle glides in, beaming with pride as she gently steers the judge's attention to our centerpiece. And here, she says, her voice a soft cadence against the backdrop of hushed conversations, you'll find the heart of our creation. Her fingers brush over the model of the Martian habitat, its domes glistening under the fluorescent lights. These young minds have not only designed a sustainable colony but also anticipated the social dynamics of future settlers. I watch as a judge leans closer, inspecting the intricate layout of communal spaces we integrated into the design. It's as if he's seeing not just our model but the potential reality it represents. Remarkable, he breathes out, and his colleague nods in agreement, their skepticism melting away. Every element is interconnected, Ms. Frizzle adds with a twinkle in her eye, akin to the stars we hope to reach with our project. Just like in nature, everything here serves multiple purposes. Their expressions transform in real time, from professional interest to genuine wonder. It's clear that what they're witnessing isn't just a high school science project, it's a glimpse into the future, a testament to the boundless reach of human innovation when nurtured by passionate education. The judges exchange looks, their nods and smiles speaking volumes as they step back from the table. They scribble notes on their clipboards, a silent symphony of pens that writes an anthem of validation for every hypothesis tested, every calculation made. We stand there, barely breathing, as the gravity of the moment washes over us. Respect emanates from the judges' impressed faces, a recognition that feels like the first rays of dawn after a long, dark night. Thank you, Ms. Frizzle, one judge says, turning towards her with an appreciative incline of his head. Your students' work is nothing short of extraordinary. Her smile broadens, mirroring the crescent moon outside, and I realize then that our journey has been illuminated by more than just intellect. It's been guided by the light of curiosity and the courage to explore the unknown. Students, gather round. Ms. Frizzle's voice cuts through the buzz of anticipation that hums through the air like static electricity. Her vibrant dress, adorned with patterns of galaxies and comets, seems to dance with excitement as she herds us together with open arms. We cluster around her, a motley crew of young explorers, our hearts thundering in our chests. The scent of solder and ozone lingers on our clothes, a remnant of late nights and fervent experimentation. Her eyes are twin beacons of pride as she looks at each of us in turn. You've done it? First place, she exclaims, throwing her hands into the air as if releasing doves into the sky. A collective gasp shatters the silence before it morphs into an eruption of cheers and applause. I find myself swept up in a wave of euphoria that crashes over us, leaving grins plastered on every face. We bounce on the balls of our feet, high fives crackling through the air, the sound mingling with laughter and whoops of triumph. Way to go, team, someone shouts, and we huddle closer, arms looping around shoulders, forming a circle of unity and shared victory. The room vibrates with our elation, a symphony of pure, unadulterated joy that resonates in every corner. As the commotion simmers down to a warm glow, I pause for a breath, my gaze sweeping over the faces of my classmates. In this moment, we're more than just students, we're pioneers who've dared to dream beyond the confines of our textbooks. Remember this feeling, Ms. Frizzle says, her tone softer now but brimming with emotion. This is the result of your curiosity, your tenacity. You chose to ask what if, and then pursued the answer without hesitation. The room settles into a contemplative hush, punctuated only by the occasional sniffle of overwhelmed happiness. Our project a microcosm of innovation gleams under the fluorescent lights, its success a testament to countless hours of labor. Thank you, Ms. Frizzle, I say, my voice a mere whisper among the chorus of gratitude echoing from my peers. For believing in us, for guiding us through every unexpected twist and turn. She smiles, a crinkle forming at the corner of her eyes, a silent acknowledgement of the journey we've undertaken together. As the chapter closes on this adventure, our hearts swell with a sense of accomplishment so grand it feels as though we could reach out and pluck stars from the night sky. With the taste of victory sweet on our tongues, we bask in the glow of hard-earned success, knowing that the lessons learned here the power of persistence, the thrill of discovery will illuminate our paths for years to come. Chapter 15. The classroom buzzes with a familiar energy, like the hum of a spaceship's engine before takeoff. We're all here, gathered around Ms. Frizzle, our commander-in-chief, her curly red hair orbiting her head like its own solar system. The walls are plastered with posters of planets and ecosystems, a kaleidoscope of past adventures. Can you believe it? I hear myself say, my voice tinged with a mix of wonder and disbelief. From fearing every trip to craving the next. I adjust my glasses, trying to capture the reflection of everyone's faces their stars in my galaxy, each one burning brightly with their own stories. Carlos leans back in his chair, his eyes twinkling with mischief as he launches into another tale. Remember when the magic school bus turned into a submarine? And I said we were in a tight school situation. Laughter bursts forth, echoing off the walls like sonar waves. It's impossible not to get swept up in the tide of his humor. Keisha flips through her notebook, pages filled with meticulous notes and sketches from each journey. She pauses, pointing to a detailed drawing of an amoeba. It's incredible, right? How much you can learn when you observe closely. Her words are a map, guiding us through the terrain of our memories. Speaking of close. Ralphie interjects, his voice booming with excitement. That tornado we chased. Feeling the ground shake and the wind roar it was like wrestling a hurricane. His hands slice through the air, mimicking the spiraling dance of the wind, and I can almost feel the gusts against my skin again. Dorothy Ann's eyes gleam behind her glasses, reflecting a universe of knowledge gained. Our travels have shown us how everything is connected, like a giant web. She traces invisible lines between us, and for a moment, I see it the intricate network of life. Phoebe stands, her green eyes fierce with purpose. We've explored so much, but it's what we do with that knowledge, right? I'm going to help save this planet. Her pledge rings out, a vow etched into the space between us. Wanda's laughter is like the chime of a bell, clear and resonant. And think about all those rocks. Who knew geology could rock your world? She grins, and I can envision her with a hammer and chisel, unearthing secrets from ancient stone. Their voices mingle, layers of sound that weave a tapestry of our shared history. With each word, the room transforms, becomes a vessel transporting us back to the heart of volcanoes, the depths of oceans, the vastness of space. Students, Ms. Frizzle says, her sparkling eyes alight with pride. Your curiosity has taken you far. Always keep exploring. We nod, a silent pact among explorers, ready for whatever lies beyond the horizon. The classroom buzzes with a kind of electric energy as we take turns sharing, our words painting pictures more vivid than any textbook could. I edge closer to the group, my hands fidgeting with the strap of my backpack. Remember the time we shrunk down to dive into the molecular world? I ask, my voice steadier than I feel. I never thought I'd be brave enough for that. Carlos slaps his knee, laughter in his eyes. Yeah, and you were the one who figured out how to reassemble the atoms. Man, I thought we were going to be microscopic forever. The memory ignites a warmth within me, a spark of courage I didn't know I had before these journeys. I adjust my glasses, feeling them stick to the bridge of my nose, a reminder of just how much I've seen through these lenses. Keisha leans forward, her notebook brimming with scribbles and diagrams. Every detail matters, she says, tapping the page. Those atomic bonds were the key. She's right. Her meticulous notes have become our map to understanding the vast and the minute. Science is all about the details, I muse, glancing at Ms. Frizzle, who nods encouragingly. Speaking of which, Carlos interjects, did anyone else get a kick out of the anti-gravity chamber? Because I sure did. He mimes floating in space, and we can't help but chuckle. Definitely a highlight, Keisha agrees, her smile a silent acknowledgement of our shared triumph. Those adventures pushed us beyond our textbooks, I add, they made us real scientists, explorers. More like adventurers, Carlos grins, winking. Explorers, Keisha corrects gently, her gaze firm yet kind. Both, I conclude, feeling the truth of it resonate within. We exchange looks of understanding, each of us changed, shaped by our escapades on the magic school bus. The room is alive with our laughter, our hopes, our dreams. Each story a stepping stone to who we'll become. Think of all the challenges we've overcome, I continue, heart swelling with pride. The environmental puzzles, the experiments, the close calls. Each adventure, a lesson, Keisha adds softly. Each laugh, a memory, Carlos quips, sparking another round of giggles. Each discovery, a step toward our future, I finish, feeling a bond that's as strong as any atomic force. Ms. Frizzle watches us, her wild curls seeming to dance around her beaming face. There's magic in her smile, a reflection of the wonders we've uncovered together. It's a smile that tells us we're ready for whatever comes next. Class, she begins, her voice thrumming with excitement, you've only just begun to explore the marvels of our universe. Keep asking questions, keep seeking answers. Her words are more than a mantra, they are a promise of endless possibilities. We stand together, a crew forged in curiosity and laughter, ready to embrace the journey ahead, wherever the magic school bus may take us. Chapter 16. The buzz of the science fair hall hums around us, a cacophony of innovation and nerves. We Euro trademark rehuddled by our project, a towering display of wires, screens, and the promise of a new frontier in space travel. My heart races with anticipation, and I can't help but bounce on the balls of my feet, exchanging eager looks with my classmates. Students, gather round. The unmistakable voice of Ms. Frizzle slices through the chatter, commanding immediate attention. She sweeps into the hall like a whirlwind of exuberance, her dress a kaleidoscope of planets and stars that seems to orbit her as she moves. Her wild red curls dance with each enthusiastic step, and her eyes twinkle with pride. Fantastic work, class, she beams, her gaze sweeping over our display. You've gone above and beyond, reaching for the stars, quite literally. Ms. Frizzle's hands gesture expansively, as if embracing the entirety of the cosmos. Your achievements are astronomical, and your project could very well ignite a galaxy of new scientists. My cheeks flush with pride under her praise, and a ripple of joy passes through my friends. We share quick, excited glances, each of us feeling that spark of camaraderie the electric charge of shared purpose. There's an unspoken agreement in our nods, we've done something remarkable together. Ms. Frizzle leans in closer, her voice now a warm conspiratorial whisper that somehow reaches each of us. Arnold, your analysis was crucial, she praises, and Arnold's shoulders straighten, his face lighting up. Wanda, your innovative coding brought our data to life. Wanda grins, a quiet victory in her eyes. Ms. Frizzle continues, making sure every student basks in individual recognition. As the murmurs of the approaching judges grow louder, Ms. Frizzle gathers us in close, her presence a comforting shield. Present with confidence, she urges, her words like a conductor's baton coaxing out our best performance. Let your passion for the project shine as brightly as a supernova. Remember, it's not just what you say, but how you make them feel about the universe you've explored. I nod, feeling the weight and wonder of our discoveries settle around me like a cloak. The judges loom closer, their faces unreadable. But as they reach us, I stand taller, ready to share our journey through the cosmos. Because Ms. Frizzle believes in USA Euro believes in Maya Euro, and that belief is the fuel that powers my voice, steady and strong as I begin to speak. The judges weave through the fair like comets charting unknown territories, their pens ready to inscribe our fates. I take a deep breath as they pause before our display, their inquisitive eyes scanning the culmination of our cosmic quest, a Euro, a model galaxy spinning slowly, its stars twinkling with programmed precision. Tell us about your star mapping algorithm, one judge asks, nodding toward me. Ah, yes, I begin, my voice steady despite the flutter in my chest. We utilized a custom code to simulate stellar distribution, factoring in elements like mass, luminosity, and gravitational pull. My words flow, each sentence a tribute to countless hours spent under Ms. Frizzle's tutelage, her enthusiasm fueling our late-night coding sessions. From the corner of my eye, I see Ms. Frizzle chatting animatedly with a cluster of teachers, her hands painting the air with the importance of doing over memorizing. Her wild red curls bounce with every emphatic gesture, and even from here, I can tell she's captivating her audience as much as she always captivates us. Excellent work, the judge says, making a note on his clipboard. My classmates each take their turn, orbiting the project, eager to share their own slices of our interstellar pie. Phoebe illustrates the physics behind our model's rotation, while Ralphie elaborates on the materials chosen for durability and authenticity. As the judges move on, we disperse among the maze of projects crowding the hall. The air buzzes with innovation, curiosity sparking from booth to booth. I exchange insights with a girl who's engineered a water filtration system, her prototype promising clean water for remote areas. We talk variables and tests, and I'm swept up in the shared thrill of discovery. Isn't this just fascinating? Ms. Frizzle appears beside me, her science-themed dress adorned with tiny beakers and atoms. She praises the girl's work before ushering me to the next marvel, a robot designed by a boy with a shy smile who beams when he sees Ms. Frizzle's genuine curiosity. Great collaboration is as essential as gravity in the universe of discovery, Ms. Frizzle whispers to me, and I nod, understanding that every project here is a node in the vast network of scientific inquiry. Time blurs as we explore, until the loudspeaker crackles, calling everyone back to reality. My heart hammers in my chest as we regroup, joining hands with an unspoken pact to face the outcome as one entity. Euro, Ms. Frizzle's constellation of young scientists. First place goes to. The moment stretches, taut as a string about to snap. Ms. Frizzle's class, for their innovative approach to celestial cartography. Our collective cheer cuts through the silence, a supernova erupting in the quiet hall. We're jumping, hugging, a chaotic dance of joy and disbelief. Ms. Frizzle's laughter rings out, bright and proud. She sweeps us into a group embrace, her eyes shining mirrors reflecting our own elation. See? What did I tell you? Your passion has ignited the stars, she exclaims, and we laugh, basking in the glow of victory and the warmth of our shared adventure. This isn't just a win, ETA Euro trademark as a launchpad for the journey ahead. Everyone, squeeze INA Euro, let's make this a cosmic photo. Ms. Frizzle's voice is the gravity that pulls us into a tight cluster around a gleaming trophy. I tuck in at the edge, the cool metal pressing against my palm as we hoist our prize high. The camera flashes, immortalizing our Grinsa Euro, a constellation of bright young stars. Can you believe it? Whispers Carlos next to me, his voice a mix of awe and excitement. Believe it? We made it happen, I whisper back, still riding the adrenaline high. Ms. Frizzle steps forward, her wild red curls bouncing as she addresses us with the energy of a supernova about to burst. Students, explorers of the unknown, I am beyond proud of each and every one of you. Your dedication, your insatiable curiosity, and your willingness to dive headfirst into the mysteries of science have brought us here. The room falls silent, hanging on her every word. She looks at us all, her eyes alight with that familiar spark of passion and pride. Remember, she continues, her hands gesturing as if painting our future in the air, this project is just the beginning. You've unlocked new realms of knowledge, but there are always more secrets waiting beyond the horizon. I can feel the truth of her words resonating within me, setting my thoughts ablaze with possibilities. Around me, nods of agreement ripple through my classmates, we're united by more than just this victory. Never stop asking questions, never stop seeking answers, and always support each other in the quest for understanding, Ms. Frizzle says, her voice softening with emotion. The journey of discovery is endless, and together, they're a Euro trademark, no telling how far we'll go. We break into applause, not just for ourselves or for the win, but for the adventure that still lies ahead. I glance around at my friends, their faces illuminated by dreams of tomorrow. Let's change the world, one discovery at a time, I say, feeling the weight of the trophy in my hands as much as the weight of responsibility we now shared. Exactly, Ms. Frizzle beams, her dress adorned with images of galaxies seeming to twirl with her enthusiasm. And who knows? The next great breakthrough could be just around the corner, waiting for someone like you to uncover it. As the hall begins to empty, we linger for a moment longer, basking in the afterglow of accomplishment. But it's the future that beckons us now, an uncharted expanse filled with challenges and chances. We step forward together, ready to embark on our lifelong voyage of discovery, knowing that today was merely a launchpad to the stars. Chapter 17. The classroom hums with electric anticipation, a beehive of eager whispers and restless shuffling. I'm right there with them, caught in the swirl of excitement about our upcoming scientific escapades. Just as the energy peaks, the door swings open and in bursts Ms. Frizzle, a whirlwind of wild red curls and a dress patterned with swirling galaxies that seems to pull us into her orbit. Fasten your seat belts, class. Her voice dances through the air, laden with mystery and promise. We're about to embark on expeditions beyond anything in your wildest hypotheses. I lean forward, elbows on the desk, hanging onto her every word as she paints vivid pictures of uncharted terrains and groundbreaking discoveries. We are voyagers on the brink of the unknown, and Ms. Frizzle is our intrepid captain. The next thing I know, we're funneling out the classroom door, propelled by our collective curiosity. The magic school bus looms before us, its familiar shape now harboring secrets of the adventures that await. One by one, we board, each student's face alight with a constellation of wonder and excitement. Euro mirrors of the cosmos sprawled across Ms. Frizzle's dress. Inside, the bus has transformed into a mobile laboratory, brimming with equipment and specimens. I find myself at a workstation, fingers itching to explore the samples arrayed before me. Across the aisle, a cluster of future marine biologists chatter over a tank teeming with colorful sea creatures, their faces reflecting in the gentle undulations of the water. Observation, experimentation, exploration. Ms. Frizzle calls out, her voice a rallying cry as she moves among us, stoking the fires of our passion for discovery. These are the pillars of your journey into science. I scribble notes, test hypotheses, my mind racing ahead. My classmates, too, delve into their pursuits with fervor. I see a future meteorologist, eyes skyward, analyzing data streams that spell out weather patterns yet to touch the ground. Nearby, a budding geologist examines rock formations with a jeweler's eye, tracing the story of the earth etched in stone. Every question you ask, Ms. Frizzle beams, pausing beside me, is a step towards shaping a better future. Her words cement my resolve. As the magic school bus trundles away from the school, carrying us toward our first destination, I'm already envisioning the impact we might make. Environmental activists, scientists, explorers, all of us united by a thirst for knowledge and a desire to leave a positive mark on the world. Next stop, Ms. Frizzle declares with a twinkle in her eye, the edge of tomorrow. And I can hardly wait. I adjust the microphone, my palms damp with anticipation. The conference hall buzzes, a hive of scientific minds eager to share and absorb knowledge. Keisha stands beside me, her notes a blueprint of our journey, meticulously documented for this moment. Ready, she whispers, her eyes alight with the reflection of our shared dreams. Always, I reply, bolstered by her confidence. We present our research, our voices intertwining as we recount the discoveries made aboard the magic school bus. The audience listens, rapt, as we unveil the fruits of collaboration, a symbiosis of marine biology, meteorology, and geology. Ralphie chimes in with an anecdote, his words painting the adventures that led us here, his enthusiasm infectious. Applause fills the room as we conclude, and the pride swelling within me is echoed in the faces of my friends. Ms. Frizzle's smile from the front row is a sunbeam cutting through the tension of the presentation. We've done it? In the lobby, Dorothy Ann engages with inquisitive attendees, her intellect shining as brightly as the glasses perched on her nose. She fields questions with grace, her depth of knowledge a wellspring for those thirsty to learn. ETA trademark S more than just sharing data, ETA trademark S igniting curiosity. Seeing you all grow into scientists, it's inspiring, Ms. Frizzle says later, her voice tinged with emotion. Her dress today, emblazoned with images of atoms and ecosystems, mirrors the diversity of our interests. Phoebe rounds us up, her passion for environmental activism evident as she discusses our next steps. It's not just about what we discover, but how we use it to make a difference, she asserts, her green eyes fierce. We nod, understanding the weight of responsibility that comes with knowledge. As younger students approach, eyes wide with admiration, I feel the legacy of our science fair project an echo of innovation and determination. They see us not just as role models, but as beacons guiding them toward their own paths of discovery. Thank you, Ms. Frizzle, I say, voicing the gratitude we all feel. For believing in us, for pushing us to explore beyond the classroom. Ah, my dear, Ms. Frizzle responds, her voice dancing with familiar excitement, the best teachers are merely tour guides to the wonders of the world. You are the explorers who venture forth. The day closes with the promise of tomorrow, the horizon stretching infinitely before us. More adventures await, more mysteries to unravel. We step outside, the cool air bristling with potential, and I can't help but smile. Next stop, I think, mirroring Ms. Frizzle's earlier declaration, the edge of tomorrow. The end.